Welcome to Infinite Novel. Dive into epic alternate realities. All rights to original creators.
Chapter 97 Straw Hat Regiment Battle Meeting. Princess Vivi never thought that the other party could even guess that she was testing them. She saw the battle between Luffy and Crocodile before, and they just defeated Crocodile casually. She was shocked at the time, and felt that this big pirate is really powerful. But later, seeing that Luffy not only did not kill Crocodile, but also said, "You can abide by the duties of the Shishibukai and bring a happy and peaceful life to the common people in the city," which is very respectable. Princess Vivi felt very strange. Since they were the vicious big pirate who slaughtered the Wapol royal family, shouldn't he be evil by nature? Why would he let Crocodile go for such a reason? Although Princess Vivi is still young, with her keen mind, she immediately felt that the two big pirates who were offered a reward of 50 million belly might really be a misunderstanding as they said. Princess Vivi thinks that this situation is not impossible, because she met Wapol when she attended the World Summit with her father when she was a child. Of course Princess Vivi knows what kind of attitude Wapol had. So regardless of whether Wapol was a pirate or not, at least killing Wapol is definitely not an evil act. With such psychological guessing, Princess Vivi started to follow Luffy and Nami along the way. Princess Vivi saw Luffy and Nami as if they were on a sightseeing tour, and there was no sign of a villainess at all. She immediately believed in her guess even more. How did you know? Hearing Luffy guessed her inner thoughts at once, Princess Vivi opened her mouth slightly, and her breathing became rapid. Luffy smiled slightly. Actually, it's not difficult to guess, right? When I was fighting with your Alabasta patron saint, there was another person beside you. That person should be your companion or partner, but you dismissed him and chose to follow us for so long. You purposely distracted your companions and followed us alone, which shows that you have your own purpose, and this purpose cannot be known to your companions. And you have seen our strength, but you are still following us at risk, which means that compared with your purpose, your life is not that important. The only thing I'm curious about right now is what kind of thing is it that can make you approach us two vicious big pirates even if you don't care about your own life. Luffy finished the analysis, and looked at Vivi with curious eyes. Nefeltri Vivi, OMG. Luffy over there guessed all my thoughts. Although it is the self on the other side, but because of the same personality, Princess Vivi can be sure that the self on the other side is indeed what Hon. Luffy speculates. Jun, it seems casual, but in fact, he is always paying attention to the surrounding environment, and has such a meticulous mind and analysis ability. Such a guy becomes a pirate, and I start to worry about the marine over there. Hina really shouldn't have issued a bounty order for Red Border Luffy so casually. Marco, that's very interesting. You shouldn't just give Red Border Luffy a bounty, you can just give a bounty to other people, right? If it weren't for the Red Border Luffy's strength, I'm afraid no one in your marine would have any doubts about the marine over there offering a bounty to Luffy, right? Charlotte Linlin, ha. Isn't that what marines are like? For those who are weaker than them, they will say the same thing, and for those whose strength can threaten them, they will try their best to win them over. Charlotte Paris Pero, Mom was right. Isn't that how Shishibukai came about? Rox D, Xebec, haha, you're right. The so-called Shishibukai, aren't they just the dogs of the world government? What a disgrace to the pirates. After listening to Luffy's analysis, Princess Vivi stayed where she was. Her heart kept beating for a moment. She looked at Luffy. I can tell you all my thoughts, but before that, can I ask you a question? Well, anyway, we don't have anything to do right now, let's talk about it. Luffy made a hand gesture. Princess Vivi said, is it true that you killed people like Wapol because they killed civilians and became pirates? Yes. This question can be answered without any need, and Nami directly gave Princess Vivi an affirmative answer. Hearing this answer, Princess Vivi felt a little relieved. The Lord asked again, okay. Then the reason why you didn't kill Crocodile is because he was helping Alabasta. I agreed to answer only one question. Luffy directly interrupted Vivi's words, with a displeased expression on his face. Little sister, don't get me wrong, we are not very interested in your story. If you want to say it, and if you don't, then go. Suddenly realized that she seemed to have committed some serious taboo, Princess Vivi suddenly looked embarrassed, and said tightly, yes, I'm sorry. Ahaha, don't be afraid, he is a sweet man. Nami smiled cheerfully, put his arms around Princess Vivi's shoulders, and said with a smile, tell me, what is it? But, I will also say it up front, we are just listening to the story, but there is no promise to help you. Princess Vivi nods. Then, she started to talk about it. From about 2 years ago, Alabasta stopped raining in all places except the capital area, then to the dancing powder incident, to the fact that she joined the Baroque work club in order to investigate the truth, and the clues she recently investigated after listening to Princess Vivi's story. Chopper's eyes widened immediately. Huh? So that guy with the golden hook turned out to be a big villain. Damn bastard. No wonder I always think he looks very unpleasant. Nami also waved his small fist and said angrily. Seeing the reactions of Chopper and Nami, Princess Vivi feels hopeful. She suddenly knelt down in front of Luffy and Nami. Please help this country. Even if I find out that the man behind the scenes is Crocodile, but no one in our country can defeat him. Marine is also impossible to help us deal with Shishibukai. Your strength is so strong, if you are willing to help this country, I can pay you. How many? Nami's eyes lit up immediately. Luffy reached out and tapped Nami's head lightly. Luffy will not be foolish enough to be someone else's thug. To be honest, Luffy has only met two royal groups since he was a child. One is the royal family of East Blue Goa Kingdom, the other one is Wapol from Drum Kingdom, so he is confused no matter which royal family it is. Luffy has a very bad impression of them. And after they arrived at the Nanohana of Alabasta, they witnessed Crocodile's act of cleaning up pirates and saving civilians. They also saw with my own eyes how much the people here love and respect Crocodile. At least judging from Luffy's first impression, Alabasta's royal family is not a good, and now, this little girl in front of him claims to be the princess of Alabasta and calls Crocodile a vile and shameless bastard. This kind of thing, he is afraid that only a passionate child will easily believe it. Of course, it is precisely because of the things that Princess Vivi just said that Luffy also has doubts about Crocodile. In short, judging from the current situation, there is no absolute evidence to prove that Crocodile is a bad person, and there is no absolute evidence to prove that the princess in front of him is lying. So, Luffy said slowly, let's not talk about the money. If you really want to ask me for help, tomorrow still this time and this place, you bring me all the information you have about the Baroque work. After speaking, Luffy didn't stop any longer. He carried the chopper in one hand and picked up Nami in the other, and disappeared into the alley with a whoosh. The next day, Princess Vivi came as promised. After getting the information, Luffy did not give any promise or guarantee to Princess Vivi, and still left without any hesitation. Mary in the conference hall. The materials of Baroque works are all spread out on the table. Zoro said, although I have been in contact with Baroque works before, I have only come into contact with their messengers. If I only talk about this part of the information provided here is indeed correct to what I understand. This Baroque works is indeed not a good organization. Judging from the information provided by that girl, MR3, MR4, MR5, MS Golden Week, MS Christmas, and MS Valentine among the senior agents can all be found in the bounty, and their names have also been confirmed. As for the agents above, there are only code names and no photos in this information, so it is impossible to confirm the real identity. But judging from this situation, those people must also be people with bounty. Nami checked the bounty for a few hours, compared it with the information provided by Princess Vivi, and made an analysis. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go help the poor little princess. Sanji heard it, and there were little red hearts in his eyes, and he raised his hands and spun around. Stupid, calm down. As soon as Nami looked up, the fist landed on Sanji's head. Then, she looked at Luffy and said, Luffy, what do you think? Luffy glanced at the information on MS All Sunday, he pointed to the codename MS All Sunday and said, this person is very interesting. Interesting. Usopp scratched his head with a dazed expression. Zoro also wondered, this person's information only has a codename, and the others are all blank. How do you find it interesting? Sanji is overjoyed, I know. Because this MS All Sunday is a woman doing. Nami's fist immediately calmed Sanji down again. Luffy explained, although there is no photo of this person, and there is not much information. However, judging from the clues and information provided by the girl who claimed to be Princess Vivi, if you carefully look, if we scrutinize it, we can infer, the source of almost all the important clues that Princess Vivi found came from this MS All Sunday. Nefeltari Vivi, oh my god. The red border Luffy is amazing, he can infer that from my information. Niko Robin, his guess is absolutely correct. Jun, scary guy. When the partners listened to Luffy's analysis, they all understood. So, this MS All Sunday didn't have loyalty with MR0. Nami frowned slightly, looking at Luffy. Luffy nodded, at least judging from the current situation, that's the case. Of course, it's also possible that this MS All Sunday is Princess Vivi's persona, and she doesn't reveal everything to us. In addition, regarding her guess that MR0 is Crocodile, it seems that the possibility is very high, but I can't just act because of the high possibility. Let's find out ourselves. At this time, Buggy laughed, you mean this Crocodile? I used to hang out with him in New World, but for some reason, he joined Shishibukai. Although I don't know what kind of person he is now, but what I knew about him before is that he is a very cunning and calculative person. Cunning and calculative. Hearing this, Luffy frowned slightly, thinking for a while. He rubbed his chin. It seems that the possibility of what Princess Vivi said has increased a lot because of Buggy's 2 words. Luffy's trust balance has now tilted from Crocodile to Princess Vivi. Then what should we do now? Go directly to Crocodile and ask, Nami suggested. Luffy shook his head, he thought for a while, and suddenly a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. I have a better way, which can directly let the real culprit fall into the net. What way? Everyone was stunned when they heard Luffy's words. Luffy smiled slightly, he took one of the materials to the middle of the table, and then stretched his finger on the paper. Everyone looked over, and there were 2 words where Luffy pointed. Dancing powder. Chapter 98. Chapter 98. Big Mom is crazy. Luffy didn't want her, she just sent her daughter. Crocodile, dancing powder? Even if he knows about dancing powder, so what? Suru, I don't understand. He said he wanted the culprit to fall into the net. Could it be that he was going to steal the dancing powder? But that's not the case. Even if the dancing powder were robbed, Crocodile wouldn't care about getting some money, would he? Jun, although I can't understand his thoughts, I always feel that Red Border Luffy is very confident in his plan. Shanks, maybe it's because he is very successful, so I'm very confident. Capone Big, that Straw Hat Kid over there, what tricks is he doing? Gold Roger, ha. Just wait and see the good show. I'm really looking forward to a dancing powder. Don't tell me, you want to steal the dancing powder. Buggy looked at Luffy with some doubts, but, even if you steal dancing powder, the mastermind behind the scenes will definitely not care. Nami nodded, yes. Whether it's the Alabasta royal family or the Baroque work, the price of dancing powder they doesn't care at all. Zoro asked in a puzzled way, you mean, steal all their dancing powder? Luffy let out a helpless breath. Ah, Luffy felt a bit of a headache after listening to everyone talking to each other. He tapped the words of dancing powder again. We are going to find this rain ship that uses dancing powder. Crocodile, impossible. Unless there are undercover agents on the rain ship, there is no way they will find out where the rain ship is. Don Quixote da Flamingo Few Furfur, want to find a ship in the middle of nowhere? It's so hard. Huashaishan, yes. Although a good navigator can judge the possible location of the rain ship according to the rainfall, the range is too wide. Suru, don't forget, the rain ship is not necessarily launched vertically, it may also be launched at an oblique angle. This will only make the range wider, which is tantamount to finding a needle in a haystack. Impossible. Buggy immediately denied, this range is too wide. Impossible to find. Although Nami trusts Luffy very much, she also explained, besides, since the other party carefully planned this plan, the rain ship will definitely be hidden when there is no rain. Only when there is important rain will they go to sea. They will never give us a chance to find this rain ship. Luffy smiled, you guys are very reasonable, but, what we need, just wait for the next rain to come. Only 2 days later, a heavy rain came as expected. Such a large amount of rainfall is obviously man-made. Standing on the deck, Nami held an umbrella, stretched out her small hand and let the big one wash over her hand. Alright. From now until the end of this rain, the rain ship will not change its position. Nami, let's start calculating the range. Luffy smiled, then walked to the cabin because the humidifier on the ocean is constantly blowing inland. If they want to trap all the water vapor over the capital Alabasta, they must make sure to use dancing powder every once in a while, so that nothing will go wrong. So Luffy concludes, until the rain stops, that rain ship will never leave. According to known conditions such as wind direction, customs, and thickness, Luffy and Nami worked together, and finally calculated the range of sea areas where the rain ship may appear. Such a large area. Luffy, I'm afraid we haven't found a tenth of it yet. Will the rain stop? Looking at the fan-shaped sea marked by Luffy on the nautical chart, Usopp opened his mouth, not thinking that this method is feasible at all. It's almost impossible, unless luck goes with you. Such a large area. Buggy shook his head when he saw it. No, we only need to pass quickly on this line, and there is a high probability that we can find this rain ship. Luffy took a pen and marked the middle line of the strip-shaped fan-shaped area. Ah, just search here? What about other places? Nami also frowned slightly. She could understand Luffy's thoughts, but she disagreed with the search area. Don't worry, during the search process, I will activate the observation haki to the maximum. Although it can't cover the entire width of this fan-shaped area, there is still no problem in covering this marked place. According to the probability, within 2 or 3 rains, it is almost certain that this rain ship will be found. Rocks D, Xebec, hey. Is that kid kidding me? That width, can observation haki really achieve it? Charlotte Cracker, it's fake. That level, how is it possible? I can't even reach 1/3 of that width. How dare a brat like him speak so brazenly? Shanks, to be honest, that kind of width, even for me, I'm afraid I can't achieve it. The width value marked on Luffy's nautical chart made Shanks feel a little incredible. Charlotte Katakuri, I can reach the level of red border Luffy's observation haki, but if it was me 5 years ago, I would definitely not be able to. Marco, is that an exaggeration? You guys have honed observation haki to ultimate. Doesn't that mean that Kid Red Border Luffy has also honed observation haki to ultimate? Charlotte Katakuri, although I understand what you mean, ultimate is just what others say. In my opinion, my observation haki is far from being ultimate in the true sense. Charlotte Linlin, that kid should be 15 or 16 years old now. Has he reached the same level as Katakuri's observation haki? If I have a child with this kid, wouldn't that talent show up to my child? Monkey D, Luffy, Nanny, Nami, Rorano Zoro. Niko Robin _Shiki, G ha. Linlin, you are such an old cow who aim for a young man. Why would he want to get it with you, Kaido? I was speechless after hearing it. Rocks D, Xebec, damn it. Linlin, you thought it was when you were younger. Don't traumatize the straw hat, Monkey D Garp, auntie. You dare to speak nonsense again, be careful, I will kill you. Buckingham Stussy, Roger and Whitebeard just want to be Garp's son, but you Linlin, you're good. You just want to be Garp's granddaughter-in-law. This generation is messed up. Ha Tony Chopper, it's so scary. Charlotte Linlin, you idiots are laughing. Even if I can't do it, I still have so many daughters. Charlotte Linlin, Straw Hat Boy, as long as you promise to be my son-in-law, you can choose any of my daughter. If one is not enough, then 2. Gold Roger, wow haha. This guy Linlin is really good. Boa Hancock The most angry person is Hancock. Most other women just want to compete with her for Luffy, but this Charlotte Linlin actually uses crowd tactics in Charlotte's eyes. Boa Hancock is not at the same level as her at all. After calculating the area where the rain ship may be, the Mary set off. Heavy rain is torrential, which should have affected the sailing conditions, but with Nami navigation skill, and the ability of the smooth fruit is poured into Mary, making Mary's whole body slippery. The wind gave a great advantage. Under the action of the smooth fruit, the friction force between the bottom of the boat and the seawater also becomes 0 because of the smooth fruit's ability. In this way, the speed of the Mary can be said to be riding the wind in waves. Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, and Buggy are rowing at the same time, and the speed of the Mary is getting faster and faster, just like an arrow that has been leaving the string, whizzing Elvida, good way. When I meet Marine in the future, I can run away like this. Seeing the use of smooth fruit in this way, Elvida shouted, Killer, can it still be like this? It's an exaggeration. Momonga, this speed, except for Kizaru Admiral, other people can only catch up with them. The Mary shuttled through the sea, and when it had gone through about 2/3 of the fan-shaped area, Luffy suddenly shouted, "I found it!" He pointed to the right, there. Sailed a ship over there. Not long after, a rain ship appeared on the screen ahead. The volume of this ship is about 5 times that of the Mary, with a canopy on it, and a huge large caliber gun barrel that can be rotated in the middle. After getting closer, they can clearly see that there are people busy on the deck who, suddenly seeing a ship approaching at sea, the staff of the Baroque studio on the deck of the rain ship immediately pick up the weapon and aim at the Mary, but before they even pull the trigger, an incomparably terrifying aura immediately enveloped them all. The next moment, under the coercion of Conquer-Haki, all the member of the Baroque work on the deck of the rain ship fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth, and convulsed very rhythmically. Whoosh! Luffy didn't say anything else. He rushed directly onto the rain ship, and then rushed into the cabin. Another release of Conqueror's Haki, and all the staff of the Baroque studio in the cabin had been dealt with. When he came out of the cabin, the others boarded the deck of the rain ship. "Hey, Luffy, why are you rushing so fast alone?" Zoro said, a little annoyed. Although Luffy is very strong, but a reckless rush in, this is not in line with Luffy's character. Luffy picked his nostrils, and said as a matter of course, prevent them from using Den Den Mushi to report the situation to the people behind the scenes. Afterwards, everyone started to tie all the employees of the Baroque work on the rain ship to the splint. After a while, they carried the seawater to wake up the employees of the Baroque works. Bastards. "This is a ship of Baroque works, are you looking for death?" Boom. With a gunshot, this guy's head suddenly exploded. Luffy took the gun from these people, and of course he fired it. These people launched dancing powder here, causing the vast majority of Alabasta to suffer from drought, and countless people and livestock died of thirst and disease. Although they are also instigated by others, the sins he can cause with their own hands are absolutely unforgivable. From the moment Luffy boarded the rain ship, they were doomed to die. One shot to kill this early bird. Luffy fired a few shots at the group of Baroque workers randomly, and a few more people were killed. At this moment, the employees of these Baroque works were all terrified, and they didn't even dare to fart. Luffy pointed a gun at one of them, and said indifferently, "When I ask, you better answer." This person is so scared that he nods again and again. "Who ordered you to do this here?" Luffy asked calmly. "Yes, is the boss of Baroque works." "Who is the boss of Baroque works?" Luffy asked again. "No, I don't know." Boom! A shot to the head. Luffy pointed the gun at another person, and the person shouted in horror, "We really don't know. We are just a low-level worker of Baroque works, and we even haven't seen many high-level agents, and it's impossible to know who the boss is." The voice is tearing, with a crying voice. This person is almost scared out of his wits. Luffy didn't shoot, but continued to ask, "How does the boss of the Baroque work agency usually issue tasks to you?" "Command form, it is command form. Every time there is a need for rain, the unlucky duo will bring the command form, and then we will sail out to sea to launch dancing powder. Don't kill me, I will tell you everything I know. Oh, by the way, the unlucky duo is a sea otter and a vulture, and their code names in the company are MR13 and MS Friday. Words. This employee seems to be really afraid of death, and the answer is fast and detailed. Luffy goes on to ask, "Is there a Den Den Mushi on board?" Employee quickly replied, "No, no, no, yes, yes, yes." Huh? Luffy frowned. The employee was so frightened that he hurriedly said, "No, there is no Den Den Mushi that can make calls, but there is a Den Den Mushi, which is used by the boss of the work agency to determine the location of the ship." After getting the desired answer, Luffy glanced at the other partners and made a kill gesture. Bang! Bang! Bang 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 bang, accompanied by intensive gunshots. All the employees of Baroque works, who had killed so many people, all died. Chapter 99. Chapter 99. Hello, patron saint of Alabasta. A few days later, rain base. What? Crocodile rushed to the edge of the window, watching the heavy rain outside, with an expression of disbelief on his face. The entire Alabasta is under his control, except for the capital. It has not rained in almost 2 years. Under such circumstances, domestic public outrage is directed at the capital of Alabasta and the royal family. When this public anger accumulates to a certain level, Crocodile is ready to launch his Utopia battle plan. But now, it's actually raining outside. Those bastards on the rain ship are so incompetent. Damn it. Crocodile's eyes were cruel. He said coldly, "Tell the unlucky duo to go to the rain ship, and tell the group of idiots to stop launching dancing powder immediately. After stopping the water vapor, immediately execute the group of idiots." "I'm afraid I can't do what you want." In the huge living room, another voice sounded. Crocodile turned back and looked at Niko Robin. "Are you looking for death?" Niko Robin didn't seem to care about Crocodile's anger at all. She said lightly, "Don't you forget that the unlucky duo went to the rain ship yesterday to convey the order of artificial rainfall, and they haven't come back yet, and now it's raining here. I'm afraid it's not a coincidence." Listening to Niko Robin's analysis, Crocodile frowned slightly because he suddenly saw the rain just now. He was dazzled by anger. "Calm down and think about it now. Indeed, something is wrong." Crocodile lit a cigar on the high-back combat seat, took a deep puff, and thought for a moment. Then, he took out a pen and paper and began to write instructions. "Assign the rain ship to MR5 and MS Valentine. Let them go there and figure things out." Put the written instructions on the table, and Crocodile went out very unhappy. Okay, Robin saw this, smiled lightly, and then went to make arrangements the other side. A certain port close to Nanohana sitting Mary and the rain ship are both docked here in the nearby forest. Luffy and his team are repairing according to Luffy's idea. They just need to wait here and wait for the mastermind behind the scenes. Cane train in the mountains and forests during the day, and just as someone on duty at night on the gravel road by the sea, two people slowly approaching. One is walking on the ground, the other is floating in the sky. MR5 and MS Valentine. 5 hours have passed since they got the order, and they happen to be in Nanohana, so they rushed soon. Look. The rain ship as their MS Valentine was floating in the air with an umbrella, and suddenly found a rain ship docked at the wild port ahead. It was actually dragged here. It seems that it was attacked. MR5 rubbed his nose and said, "Go and investigate first, to see if there is anyone lying in ambush on the decks of those ships." Okay, MS Valentine didn't say anything, and immediately flew over by the airflow come to the top of the two ships. MS Valentine immediately saw the Straw Hat group on the deck. Just now Luffy's observation hacky found out that someone was coming, and everyone immediately returned to the deck of the Mary, waiting for someone to came. It turned out that he never expected. They came from above. Sudden appearance of the figure, everyone immediately looked up. Zoro opened his eyes suddenly. Ah, it's blue. Usopp was also shocked. Wow, this is really generous. Sanji immediately performed a nosebleed fountain, and passed out from anemia. Don't look, idiot. Nami moved behind Luffy with one step, and two small hands caught Luffy's eyes from behind. You guys should be the ones who dared to hijack our rain ship. Ha 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 ha, I found it. Although there are several people on the deck below, MS Valentine is overconfident in her own strength. She put away the umbrella directly, and fell down under the astonished eyes of everyone below. 10,000 kilograms of pressure. As a person with the ability to kilo fruit, MS Valentine can easily adjust her weight. At this height, she fell down with such a weight that no one can bear it. Of course, this is just what she knows. Probably seeing the intimate action of Luffy and Nami, MS Valentine's attack target directly chose Luffy. Although Luffy's eyes were blocked by Nami, his observation hacky easily locked on Valentine's movement. Aware that MS Valentine was coming towards him, Luffy directly hit MS Valentine with a single target attack formed by Conqueror's hacky. MS Valentine was in mid-air. She immediately rolled her eyes, and passed out. Buggy flew up with one hand and lifted MS Valentine from the air. But at this moment, whoosh, a booger comes galloping. Brush. Zoro cuts out with one sword. Boom. The booger exploded. Zoro then said, "What? His booger can explode. I'm the explosive man who ate the explosion. Hey, you bastards, you messed with the wrong person." MR5 is digging his nose while walking towards the Mary. However, he just took the next step, and immediately fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth. It's right, they did mess with the wrong person, idiot. Luffy picked his nose, and said lightly. Then, he looked at Zoro and Usopp. Quickly, get 2 wooden barrels filled with seawater and lock them up. These 2 people are worth a lot of money. Good. Zoro and Usopp immediately got busy. Before, everyone considered the issue of imprisoning people with abilities, and finally, under Buggy's suggestion, they got some wooden barrels and specially transformed them into shackles. As long as it is filled with seawater, there is no way for a devil fruit user to escape. One is 10 million belly and the other is 7.5 million belly. It seems that the big fish haven't come. Nami looked through the homework done a few days ago and found the bounty for these 2 people. Don't worry. Luffy stretched his waist, then started to do exercises, and said while doing it hasn't rained in Alabasta for a year or 2, and now it's raining everywhere. The man behind the scenes can't sit still. Maybe there will be a wave of stronger cannon fodder to test the water, but no matter how many waves of cannon fodder come, in the end their behind the scenes bosses must come. Time flies. Half a month has passed. 3 waves of people came during this period. 2 waves are pure cannon fodder. The other wave is a 4-person group of senior agents composed of M3, M4, MS Golden Week and MS Christmas. The result is still the same. They attacked directly and the Straw Hats did not give them any chance to send back information at all. As a result, Crocodile's eyes are still darkened, and he doesn't know what's going on. Rainace in the huge conference room. There are only Crocodile and Niko Robin. The people sent out are still gone without any notice. Robin reports the situation to Crocodile. Crocodile's face is livid at this time. He hit the table heavily and said angrily, "Damn, who did it? Could it be that the royal family hired some powerful figure?" In his mind, the figures of Luffy and Nami flashed. Could it be them? No way. Crocodile remembers that Luffy said that they will only stay here for 10 days, and now, 20 days have passed. They should have left long ago. Why, I'll go there. It can be seen that Crocodile must still send someone to go. Robin just took the initiative to order no. Crocodile shook his head suddenly. Niko Robin is the only one that can read the poneglyph, and Crocodile doesn't want her to take this risk. Of course, part of the reason is that Crocodile is worried that Robin will betray her. In his opinion, if Robin thinks that the other party is more suitable to be her boss, this woman will definitely choose to betray without hesitation. Hearing this, Robin asked again, "So, are you going to go there yourself at the risk of revealing your identity?" 6 senior agents have been lost in a row. The enemy's strength is obviously not weak. In this case, it would be very unwise to send 2 groups of senior agents, MR2 and MR1. Based on what Robin knows about Crocodile, she knows that Crocodile won't make such low-level mistakes. Crocodile thought for a while, with serious eyes, and said in a deep voice, "You can come with me." Mary's side. Usopp is sitting on the edge of the railing, holding a harpoon with grilled fish in his hand. It's been a few days, and there is no movement at all. The man behind the scene, when will he came? Luffy is sitting by the grill, gulping down the meat. Don't worry, just wait patiently, within a week, that person will come. Nami wiped the oil stains from the corner of her mouth, and asked in confusion of Luffy, "Why are you so sure he will come?" Buggy also felt puzzled. If he really dared to come, he wouldn't have sent wave after wave of people to test it out. It is estimated that after these 3 tests the person behind the scenes really scared of the person that keep beating his high-level agents. Luffy swallowed the fish meat that was dazzling in his mouth, and his stomach turned into a ball. The plan that he had been doing, suddenly got disturbed after all this year. Will he be able to endure? As soon as these words came out, everyone on the Mary was taken aback. I believe you already have the answer. Luffy laughed. He had prepared this plan for many years, and of course he will find the people that want to disturb his plan on the warship would impel down his crocodile. Took a deep breath and looked at the red border Luffy on the screen. He felt deep fear. He has to say, red border Luffy got his mind right. Originally he's been brooding about losing to Luffy, but now seeing the situation in the red border video, Crocodile is very happy. He didn't dare to think about what would happen to himself over their Trafalgar Law. The idea of Crocodile over there has been completely guessed by the red straw hat. Jewelry Bonnie, yeah, the poor little crocodile over there is being *********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** ha ha ha. After Luffy and his party are full, they gather the leftovers together, but then it's him. At this moment, Luffy's brows twitched, and he muttered, "It seems that what Princess Vivi said is true." Luffy stood up and looked at a small ship approaching not far away. There were 2 people on board. One was a tall woman wearing a white western cowboy hat, and the other was Crocodile. Nami also saw Crocodile standing on the opposite deck at this time. Chopper opened his mouth wide. He is obviously a great hero in the hearts of the people of Alabasta. Why would he do such a thing? Usopp curled his lips. Chopper, don't you understand? That's just the image he created for himself. Now this is the real him. When Crocodile saw Luffy and his party, an inexplicable anger burst into his heart. Damn, it's really them. Hello, the patron saint of Alabasta. When the 2 ships approached, Luffy greeted Crocodile with a smile like last time. It's just, compared with the sincere tone last time, this time Luffy's tone is full of unabashed sarcasm. Ding. Enter the prize-winning answering session. At this moment, a question appeared on the big screen. Question: Red Border Luffy defeated Crocodile. How many moves did he use? A. 0 moves. B. 1 move. C. 2 moves. D. 3 moves. E. 4 moves. Equals 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 equals. More chapter available at patreon.com/goldengaruda. Equals 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 equals. Comment 1. Comment vote. Chapter 100. Chapter 100. Domineering. Handle a crocodile like a chicken. Crocodile. Asshole, are you kidding me with this option? Seeing the options for this question, Crocodile immediately complained. A total of 5 options, the most move are 4. Don Quixote da Flamingo, this option A is really too much. No matter how weak our Mr. Crocodile is, he will be defeated with 0 move, right? If Doflamingo didn't put on that iconic smirk at the end, his words would sound like he was complaining about Crocodile. Crocodile, Joker, what are you talking about? If you met the Red Border Luffy over there, how do you think your result will be better than mine? Although the results of Crocodile have not yet come out, but once this question is asked, there seems to be no suspense. Don Quixote da Flamingo, few furfur. Even if you don't compare with the Straw Hat Boy over there, what about the Straw Hat Boy here? Aren't you still defeated by him? Crocodile, hee hee, let's see what you can do. It's just that you haven't met Luffy yet, Hat. If you do, your fate will not be much better. Listening to Doflamingo's ridicule, Crocodile was really angry. Don Quixote da Flamingo, then you think too much. The Straw Hat Boy here didn't meet me. If his fate is to meet me, then this video would have to change the protagonist. Gecko Moria, you two mentally retarded. Why are you arguing here? Answer the questions. Crocodile, if you want to choose, you choose. Capone B, choose B. In the previous battle just now, the Red Border Luffy took down Crocodile with 1 kick. Scratchman Apu Ape Papa Usadas Kid, that's right. I'll choose A. Sengoku, arrogant and ignorant boy. Gold Roger, Sengoku, you choose. You can choose this time. Kuzan, I choose A. Borsalino? What are you doing? Kuzan, guess. This is the least likely answer, but it might be it. Sakazuki, then I choose B. Borsalino, woo, okay, forget it. I won't guess this question. Originally, he wanted to join in the fun, but Borsalino suddenly realized that he was the oldest of the 3 admirals, and if he made a wrong choice, then he might get older. Charlotte Paraspero, I choose a 2. Take my life and gamble Jack, I choose E. Bet. If I get it wrong once, I can still afford it. Zephyr, I feel that B is very likely. Let me bet once too. Choose B. Tsuru, indeed, the probability of option B is quite high. It is indeed very reasonable for Red Border Luffy to defeat Crocodile with 1 move. I hope this is the answer. Although he was talking about analysis, Vice Admiral Tsuru had no idea at all, because many of the answers to this screen were unexpected. Otherwise, she would choose a countdown to answer the question. 10-1-0 as the countdown to answering the questions ends. The video in the Red Border continues to play again. Hearing Luffy call him the patron saint of Alabasta, Crocodile's face suddenly darkened. He's not a fool. The irony can be clearly heard from Luffy's tone. Luffy boy, didn't you say that you stayed in this country for 10 days and then left? What's the situation now? Crocodile asked in a cold tone. Hee hee, Crocodile, you are really interesting. You have killed so many people in Alabasta, but you still pretend to be the patron saint of the Alabasta kingdom. On the surface, Luffy grinned, and said with a sneer, you are blaming the royal family of Alabasta for this kind of thing, but at the same time cherishing your reputation in front of the people of Alabasta so much. Let me guess. Your real purpose is to take over the throne of the kingdom of Alabasta, right? Such a person actually wants to become the king of Alabasta. Fortunately, we discovered it, otherwise, the people of this country will usher in even greater disasters. An angry look appeared on Nami's pretty cheeks. Although what Luffy said is just a guess, Nami firmly believes that Luffy will not guess wrong. Using the lives of innocent people to add to your lives. People like you don't deserve to live in this world. Zoro's hand was on the sword, and he also hated such people. Why? Are you trying to stand up for the people of this country? Listening to the words of Luffy and others, Crocodile's face was full of sarcasm. He sneered and said, in this world, countless people die every day. Do you want to take care of it? Can you do it? Look a little more. Other people's life and death are none of my business. Only money, status, and fame are meaningful. Luffy, now I invite you to join the ATN, and I will let you have a status and pleasure that you could never have imagined before. Although Luffy has taken care of so many of his subordinates, Crocodile doesn't care at all. If Luffy and his group can be taken under his command, even if all the agents of the current Baroque work are thrown into the sea, he will agree without hesitation. Stop it. Crocodile, we are not the same people at all. Although what you did in Nanohana was faked, but you actually saved those civilians at that time. For the sake of this, I can give you a decent death. You can kill yourself. Luffy has always been particular about what he does. If Crocodile is willing to commit suicide, then he will give him some face down. Quixote da Flamingo few for so miserable, Mr. Crocodile, Red Border Luffy is sure to kill you Buckingham sussy. He can even say something like making the other party commit suicide. It seems that in the eyes of Red Border Luffy, Crocodile is just an existence that he can easily crush to death. Killer, hey? Wait. If Crocodile really committed suicide, wouldn't the answer to this question be A? Kid, you chose A. Used to ask Kid, yeah. It's because A doesn't look like the correct answer, so I chose it. Is it true that I got the right answer? Kuzan, very good. I also chose A. The crocodile on the opposite side need to do it. Take a sword and kill yourself. Used to ask Kid, that's right. Do Marine Admiral and me a favor. Capone B, don't. Anyway, it's Shishibukai, don't be so cowardly. Hurry up and let Luffy kill you in seconds. Sakazuki, damn, Red Border Luffy can do it. One move is enough. Jack, how can one punch be enough? He will do it in 4 move. Red Border Luffy, listen to me. Throw 4 punches and kill that crocodile. Queen, ha ha ha. Jack is an idiot. What did you choose that? And you still dream of getting rewards for answering the questions. Hearing Luffy's words, Crocodile's face suddenly twitched violently, and his eyeballs were bloodshot. He is a dignified Shishibukai, actually let him commit suicide? This is no longer a humiliation. This is simply stepping his face on the ground and rubbing it. Furious, Crocodile tore off his plush cloak angrily. Luffy, don't be shameless. A pair of bloodshot eyeballs stared at Luffy. Crocodile growled furiously. Do you think that you stepped on my foot before? That means you are stronger than me by boy. If you think so, then you are looking for your own death. That kick, I didn't expect that a little guy at your age could actually practice armament haki. Otherwise, I wouldn't just stand there and let you kick me. Thinking of being underestimated to such an extent by a teenage boy, Crocodile's hidden ambition burst out immediately. Facing Crocodile, who was so angry, Luffy was unmoved at all. He said lightly, is it really amazing that I have trained armament haki at my age? Hee hee, kid, don't play dumb with me. Even in a new world where there are so many strong people, someone who can train armament haki at your age, it's definitely one of the few, Crocodile said coldly. Although he is very angry now, he will not deny Luffy's talent. Luffy frowned, then looked at his partner beside him, then at Crocodile, and said with a smile, who are you lying to? We all have already practiced haki. If the new worlds can't do it, how can they be called the worst? See how many of you. Hearing this, Crocodile suddenly laughed. He smiled unceremoniously. Do you really think I'm a fool? If haki is so easy to train, wouldn't it be? Ah, nanny. Before Crocodile finished speaking, his eyeballs popped out. He is staring at the front. He saw that the arms of Zoro, Usopp, Sanji, and Nami were all covered with haki. What else is this not armament haki? How can this be? Even if he deliberately looked for such young and strong men in New World, it may be very difficult to find them. Why did he need 5 of them all of a sudden? Crocodile almost doubts life. Gold Roger, haha. That guy's expression, hahaha. Shiki, it's really too miserable. Even if we had encountered this kind of thing when we were young, I'm afraid we would be as dumbfounded as him. Jahahaha. Capone Beeg, hey, hey, hey. Don't think about it all of a sudden and commit suicide. Sakazuki, damn it. Don't be so cowardly. Zephyr, Red Border Luffy, what are you waiting for? Give it to him quickly. Kill him. Don Quixote da Flamingo Fufurfur. It seems that everyone wants to see Crocodile die. Not only Crocodile was shocked, but Robin, who was next to him, is also dumbfounded. Repeatedly she mixed from West Blue to Grand Line. She has never seen such a terrifying talent. And she met a bunch of. It's just like nonsense at this time. Luffy asked lightly, Crocodile, have you decided yet? A chance to die decently. Do you want it? I want you to die. He was already angry, and now he heard that Luffy is still questioning him with such humiliating remarks. Crocodile broke out completely. He stretched his right hand forward and opened his hand. Endless wild sand spewed out from his palm crazily. It's as if a gate of the yellow sand hell has been opened, and countless yellow sand are raging out just in the blink of an eye. Countless yellow sand suddenly formed a whirling storm in his hands. Die! Die! All of you die! Crocodile throws the sandstorm out of his hand. The whole sky suddenly became extremely dark. Wind, dust, flying sand and rolling stones. Niko Robin suddenly lost her footing, but at this moment, Luffy's arm elongated instantly, his palm enlarged like a cattail fan, and he went straight to Crocodile in an instant. I won't suffer from this again this time. Before he suffered from not knowing that the opponent would have haki, Crocodile will not be stupid this time. Waiting for the opponent's hand to fall on his head, he suddenly turned into a wisp of wind and sand and swept away. Trying to hide himself in the wind and sand in the sky, however, just a few meters away from the original place, he suddenly felt something falling on his head as if the golden hoop was suddenly tightened. Crocodile's head was grabbed by Luffy. What? Crocodile is shocked. He had already dodged? Why did Luffy's hand appear on his dodging route? He can't figure it out, but Luffy won't give him time to think about this. Luffy's right palm jerked back. At the same time, his left knee came up instantly. Crocodile wants to escape, but finds that he can't shake Luffy's hand at all. He can only watch helplessly as his face is towards Luffy's knee, and then Crocodile's eyes burst open, because he clearly saw that there was not only the rich armament haki on Luffy's knee, but also purple lightning bolts crackling around. That's Conqueror's Entanglement Knee. Loved this story? Hit subscribe and join Infinite Novel to be the first to catch new chapters. Chapter 101 Chapter 101 Castle Fruit plus Unshakable Lock Conqueror's Entanglement? When Crocodile sees the entanglement haki on Luffy's knee, his eyeballs are about to pop out in fright. How can a newbie pirate do Conqueror's haki entanglement? Let's put it this way, Crocodile had a lot of experience in the sea, but he had never seen others use Conqueror's entanglement. He just heard about it. He knows that Pirate King Roger used this, but of course he never saw it. He also knows that Whitebeard used this, and he had fought Whitebeard before, but obviously, he was not qualified for Whitebeard to use Conqueror's entanglement. In short, in his mind, those who can use Conqueror's entanglement are all kings or leaders of all ages. Although Crocodile had never seen what Conqueror's entanglement looks like before, but this does not prevent him from instantly distinguishing it when he encounters a Conqueror's entanglement. This is Conqueror's entanglement. Before Luffy's knee touched Crocodile, the violent Conqueror's haki aura hit Crocodile's chin. At this moment, time seems to be frozen. Blood was like a blooming flower, blooming instantly on Crocodile's face. Click! The clear sound of bone cracking echoes in this port. Boom! As Luffy hit Crocodile's head, the patron saint of Alabasta threw himself at Luffy's feet without moving. Hiss! When this scene appeared, the movie viewers gasped suddenly. Dawes Bones, one move. As a staunch follower of Crocodile, Dawes Bones, once codenamed him R1, opened his mouth wide in shock and stared at the scene on the red border screen in disbelief. Capone Big Phew, it's so shocking. Only a simple and unpretentious knee hit ended the battle directly. Although I was prepared in my heart according to the options just now, but when I saw the scene, I felt truly scared. Don Quixote da Flamingo, what a simple and unpretentious, phew phew phew. Boy, do you have any misunderstanding about the simplicity? Charlotte Linlin, has the kids' Conqueror's entanglement reached such level? Watching the Red Border Luffy's performance just now in the Red Border video, Charlotte Linlin immediately has a clearer understanding of Luffy's talent potential. In her heart, she firmly wants to marry Luffy. Or let her daughter marry this boy. He must get the kids' genes. Gold Roger, it's really strong. He has strength, but he never underestimates his opponents. Every time he fight, he rushes to end the battle. Even if I meet such a guy, I have to go all out. Shanks, indeed, as long as Red Border Luffy recognizes you as an enemy, he won't hold back. As soon as they finished saying this, Crocodile fade on the screen was tragic. Looking at the motionless Crocodile on the ground, Zoro immediately picked up the rope to tie him. However, Luffy said, don't tie him up. For such a person, letting him live one more day is the greatest injustice to those who died because of the drought. Zoro heard the words, so he threw the rope to Sanji Kangling. Yubashiri out of sheath. The jet black armament haki was wrapped around Yubashiri immediately. Brush. Crocodile's head immediately detached. Crocodile, Although it was him over there who died, Crocodile still couldn't help but feel it in his neck when he watched the scene. He looked at Luffy beside him, and suddenly felt an urge to take revenge. However, this idea only appeared in his mind for a moment and then disappeared immediately. If it was before, he still has a chance. But now after Luffy got the reward, his fruit had been awakened. Crocodile didn't think he had a chance to kill him. Probably sensing Crocodile's gaze, Luffy turned his head and looked at Crocodile, revealing a big mouthful smile. You over there are so unlucky. Puff. Crocodile suddenly felt a rush of blood in his heart. He still finds it funny? It's really annoying. Ding. Anyone who answers wrongly in this prize quiz will be punished. Eustace Kid, the right to answer the next round of questions will be deprived, and 8 days of life will be deducted. Kuzan, the right to answer the next round of questions will be deprived, and the life expectancy will be deducted 10 months and 27 days. Jack, the right to answer the next round of questions will be deprived, and life will be deducted 8 months and 22 days. Kuzan, so much deduction. Eustace Kid, I only got deduct 8 days. It's okay, not a big problem. Ding. The top 3 correct answers to this quiz are from Capone Big, Sakazuki, and Zephyr. Congratulations to the top 3 for getting a reward. Congratulations to Capone Big, the reward is Unshakable Lock. Congratulations Sakazuki, the reward is Lava Style. Congratulations to Zephyr, the reward 15 years younger. Zephyr, haha. This old man is 15 years younger. As soon as the rewards were issued, Zephyr's appearance became visibly younger. The original 73-year-old man suddenly became 58-year-old man, almost as old as Kizaru. The original heavy breathing and feeling of weakness disappeared in an instant. Monkey D. Garp, that's great, Zephyr, we're all getting younger. Zephyr, yeah, Garp. It feels great. Gold Roger, I feel similar to you, I am younger, but some people want to become younger and fail, and the result he became 1 year older, haha. Sengoku, damn it, Roger, you can say it was me. Don't be so weird. Gold Roger, no, it's not interesting if I just say it, haha. Shiki, Roger, you are so bad. But the old man likes it, gee ha 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 ha, ding. Because the unshakable lock and lava style are magical things from Otherworld, special remarks are made. Remarks on the unshakable lock. The unshakable lock is a neon sign marked open. When the unshakable lock is placed in a building with windows and its power source is removed, the building will not be accessible. We call it the lock-in effect. When the lock-in effect is activated, all kinds of damage and attacks including but not limited to wind, heat, kinetic energy impact, hollowing out the foundation, digging tunnels, electric current, microwave, etc. will not be able to damage the building. The shock caused by these attacks on the interior of the building has been almost weakened when the locking effect is activated. Even if all the doors and windows of this building are opened, nothing from the outside world can still enter, as if these doors and windows have never been opened. People inside can leave at any time, but cannot return to the building until the lock effect is lifted. Only when the unshakable lock is reconnected to the power supply, the locking effect will be automatically released. Scratchman Apu, Nanny? Is this unshakable lock so ridiculously strong? Hey hey hey! Will Capone be invincible with this? Trafalgar Law, this lock, outrageous. Apu is right, Eustace kid, this guy's luck is too good. Rox D, Xebec, what are you guys talking about? Isn't it just a lock that can lock a building? Although it can make the building have an almost invincible defense, he can only hide in the building and can't come out. Gold Roger, yes. People need to read more. If they want to deal with the owner of this lock, there are many ways. Just surround and not fight. He will either starve to death inside, or come out and be beaten to death. Nami, no. Capone Big's devil fruit is a castle fruit. He is a big castle himself. The crew of his pirate group usually live in his body. If he puts this unshakable lock in his body, wouldn't he be directly invincible? Shiki, Nanny. It turned out that someone with the castle fruit ability got this lock? Gold Roger, no way, so that's what you mean before. Rox D, Xebec, castle fruit plus unshakable lock, this is a perfect match. At first, they thought that this lock was not worth making a fuss about, but now they learned that Capone Big is actually a castle fruit user, and everyone was shocked. Borsalino, these supernovas were already strong like monsters, but now they have acquired some magical abilities or items, so it's troublesome now. Lava style remarks, the 5 basic style are water style, fire style, earth style, wind style, lightning style. The fusion of fire style and earth style will produce lava style. It is similar to the string style / string escape obtained by Doflamingo last time, and the remarks are all explained in one sentence. Cusin, that is it. Borsalino, why is this similar to the reward Doflamingo got? Sengoku, Sakazuki, what do you think? Sakazuki, strong, very strong, and it matches my lava fruit ability very well. It can be said that, the so-called lava style is actually a kind of elemental powers that strengthened and can be wielded similar to what Paramecia Devil Fruit can do. Sakazuki, your analogy is very suitable, of course, it is not exactly the same. Tsuru, so it seems that Doflamingo has obtained the string style, and his current strength must not be underestimated. Don Quixote Doflamingo Fufurfurfur, Granny Tsuru, don't pay attention to me so much, I might get panicked. A small island behind Marine headquarters. Blackbeard Teach looked at this reward and fell into thinking, although the ability of the castle fruit is not top-notch, but if he had this unshakable weapon, if he don't succeed in capturing the Whitebeard Quake fruit this time, he can get this devil fruit and the unshakable lock together. Thinking of this, Blackbeard Teach silently remembered the name of Capone Big in his heart. It's a pity, and we can't even get the bounty. Nami flipped through the bounty, take Crocodile's bounty. She sighed, this damn guy, he insisted on joining the Shishibukai, so now we can't exchange his head for a bounty. It's okay, there is another one who came with him, the reward is probably not low, check it out. Luffy shrugged his shoulders, then looked at Robin and said, would you like to cooperate and introduce yourself? At this time, Buggy said, this one needs no introduction. She is the famous Devil Child Niko Robin. Devil Child. Hearing such a unique title, Luffy and the others all opened their mouths in astonishment. Luffy looked at Buggy in surprise. What do you mean? Could it be that she is a child of a devil? There really are creatures like devils in this world. Buggy shook her head. It's not really a devil, but the name given to her by the world government. It happened about 20 years ago. There used to be an island. It's called O'Hara, and it said that the people there wanted to research the ancient weapon that could destroy the world, but they were wiped out by the world government. Only one slipped through the net, and that's her. Nami opened his mouth wide. Has the whole island been wiped out? That's right. It's the whole island. At that time, the world government dispatched Buster called directly. Destroying the island. Buggy said found it. Niko Robin's bounty. 79 million belly. At this time, Nami found Niko Robin's bounty in the bounty booklet she had, and belly symbol suddenly appeared in her eyes. So much money. Luffy was also pleasantly surprised. But at the next moment, Nami suddenly changed his face and exclaimed, what? What's wrong? Luffy took the bounty curiously. He suddenly slightly stunned. When she was 8 years old, she already got this bounty. The high reward price for an 8-year-old child shows how much the world government wants to kill her. Chapter 102. Chapter 102. Buggy reminds, this woman can translate the poneglyph. Niko Robin, looking at the situation, will I get caught and exchanged by Luffy? Vinsmoke Sanji, he dares. I beat him to death. Nami, probably not. So far, quite a few of the partners over there have boarded the ship Roronoa Zoro. You still have the nerve to speak. Look over there when you see Robin's bounty amount, your eyes light up. Nami, I can't just say I'm alone. Look at the red border Luffy. When he saw the reward amount just now, he was almost drooling. Monkey D. Luffy, hey? It's not me. What? Is there any problem? Seeing that Luffy was surprised by the amount of her reward, Robin walked to the nearby stone and sat down slowly. After seeing Luffy's strength, she doesn't have any thoughts of resisting now. It is a problem. Luffy nodded. He pointed to the word 8 years old to show Robin and said, since you were offered a bounty of 79 million belly when you were 8 years old, the current bounty is still 79 million belly. It has been almost 20 years since your bounty had increased at all. Doesn't that explain the problem? Zoro scratched his head. Luffy, what are you talking about? It's not strange that the bounty doesn't go up. As long as she doesn't continue to do bad things, the bounty won't go up. Luffy smiled. Isn't that the problem? Isn't it weird that a woman who hasn't done anything bad for 20 years now wants to team up with Crocodile to destroy the peace of this country? Can it be that I didn't get caught when I'm doing the bad thing? Robin gently raised her left leg, put it on her right leg, put her hands behind her head, and leaned against the tree trunk behind her. Anyway, she has given up fighting. Why not take it easy? Among the information provided by Princess Vivi, only Miss All Sunday and the Baroque work can directly contact Crocodile. Coincidentally, I analyzed it based on the information she gave. It seems that all the information she got was intentionally given by this Miss All Sunday. You are Miss All Sunday. Why did you take the initiative to reveal this information to Princess Vivi? What is your purpose? Luffy looks at Robin calmly. Hearing this, Robin shook his head slightly, and said with a light smile, there is no purpose. I saw the hopeless princess, and thought it would be fun to give her the information. Seeing that Robin was avoiding answering truthfully, Luffy didn't ask any more questions, and said directly, let's go. As soon as these words came out, Robin frowned. Huh? You won't arrest me for the bounty? Luffy said lightly, you revealed the information to Princess Vivi, and Princess Vivi had asked me to deal with Crocodile. However, if it weren't for your information, then Princess Vivi wouldn't be looking for me, and we may have left Alabasta by now. Although all of this is not your purpose, you are an indispensable part of the credit for saving the civilians of Alabasta. This credit is not something that 79 million belly can buy. Listening to Luffy's words, Niko Robin's eyes showed a different kind of luster. This kid speaks with reason and evidence, which makes people unable to refute. Eh? No. He is going to let her go. Why does she want to refute? Thinking of this, Niko Robin put down her hands and stood up. She patted the sand on her buttocks, looked at Luffy and said, in that case, thank you for not killing me. Speaking, Robin put her small bag on her back, turned around and left. Niko Robin, so, I'm still not on board. Vinsmoke Sanji, damn red border Luffy, you don't want to keep Robin-chan. This makes me over can't cook delicious food for Robin-chan. Wait a moment. Just then, Buggy suddenly shouted. Then he turned to look at Luffy and said, Luffy, aren't we going to fully sail the Grand Line and even go to Raftel, the final island? Luffy nodded. Yeah, what's the matter? For him, since he intends to see this world, the so-called final island, Raftel naturally wants to see it too. Of course, if Raftel really has the treasure of the Pirate King, Luffy doesn't mind taking it. With Luffy's confirmation, Buggy slapped her thigh immediately. Then she can't go. Luffy picks her nostrils. Why? Buggy immediately explained, there are this thing called poneglyph, among which there are 4 red poneglyph. They are called landmark historical poneglyph. If you want to go to Raftel, you must collect all these 4 landmark historical poneglyph, and connect them to form 2 intersecting lines according to the 4 road signs provided on them, and the central intersection point is the location of Raftel. As an intern on the Roger Pirates ship, Buggy knows how to get to Raftel very well. Hearing this, Luffy was a little curious. The historical poneglyph? Has it existed for many years? At this time, Robin spoke. Yes. Those are indestructible stone tablets that have been handed down from 800 years ago, engraved on them about the history of the Void Century that was erased by the world government. 800 years ago, Void Century. Hearing this, Luffy showed interest on his face. If this is the case, then there should be something of 800 years old on Raftel Island? He was delighted. Great. This island must be visited. Originally in Luffy's cognition, Raftel equal the island where the treasure of Pirate King Roger is hidden. Hearing what Robin and Buggy said now, he immediately understands the special meaning of this island. He realizes, Roger said that his treasure was placed in Raftel. Maybe it was just a bait. Roger may have seen something on that island, and hope others can see it too. Interesting. Luffy rubbed his chin, then looked up at Robin. If I'm not mistaken, the text on these poneglyph is not a modern text, and you can translate poneglyph, right? Buggy immediately corrected. Not only can she translate the poneglyph, but she is probably the only person in the world who can translate those poneglyph. Nanny? Hearing this, everyone except Buggy widened their eyes in shock. After a long time, the woman in front of them turned out to be the only seedling in the translation industry. So, am I unable to leave? Looking at the situation in front of her, Robin didn't continue to leave anyway. For her, it don't matter whatever crew or join. She doesn't have any ideals and goals of a normal person. She just wants to translate the poneglyph this world so as to understand the Void Century. Wow! Then let's welcome the beautiful Robin-chan. Sanji rushed over with a brisk step, and immediately slid and knelt, making an inviting gesture. Robin froze for a moment, then looked at Luffy. She is a smart person, of course she can tell at a glance that Luffy is the leader among this group of people. It's not that I have to keep you. Luffy thought for a while, and said, let's do this. I want you to stay on our ship for a while, and when I learn your translation knowledge, you can leave Sengoku, stupid. He's playing with fire. Tsuru, he actually want to learn the ancient language. Hey, Kong, I just want to emphasize here. All the information on the poneglyph is about ancient weapon. Anyone who studies this is trying to destroy world peace. The world government has zero tolerance in this kind of behavior. Gold Roger, hahaha. I didn't want to talk to you at first, but your behavior of talking nonsense is really annoying. Is the world government worried that the information of ancient weapon will be translated? Don't be F***King stupid. I'm too embarrassed to expose you guys. Shiki, oh? Can you tell us Kojiki Odin? When I was with Captain Roger, in addition to seeing the 4 poneglyphs of road signs, I also saw some other poneglyph, but the records on them seem to be about the void history of 800 years ago, and also mentioned a great kingdom. Saint J. Garcia Saturn, shut up. Saint Marcus Mars, don't talk nonsense. Rox D, Xebec, ha. What are you two old bastards stopping such a hurry? Just tell everyone your dirty secret. Capone Big, what is the great kingdom? Jewelry Bonnie, yeah. Why is the history 800 years ago blank? Does it have something to do with the great kingdom? Saint Ethan Baron V, Nasjuro, do you not understand human language? It is forbidden to inquire about things 800 years ago. Otherwise, you will be wanted for the crime of endangering world security. Monkey D. Dragon, the 5 elders seem really concerned about this. Maybe I need to focus more to this history. Monkey D. Garp, don't believe the screen. Dragon, shut up. Hearing that Luffy actually wanted to learn about the ancient language, Robin suddenly laughed. Ah ha ha. Slender fingers blocked her nose. Robin shook her head. Don't think about it. I can't teach others. Why? Luffy wondered. Robin said directly, there is no reason, I just don't know how to teach you. Luffy pondered for a while. Suddenly a look of surprise appeared on his face. I see, you want to protect me? As soon as these words came out, even Nami, Zoro and others couldn't help but burst out laughing. Luffy, how did you become narcissistic? Hey, what are you talking about? Why does she want to protect you? Although Luffy's partners laughed, but when Robin heard this, a touch of surprise appeared on her delicate cheek. She looks at Luffy before she was just shocked by Luffy's strength. But now, Robin suddenly realizes that, the boy in front of her who looks only about 16 years old must not be treated with common sense. What do I mean? Robin asked seriously. Luffy spread his hands to both sides. Look, you were offered a reward of 79 million belly when you were 8 years old. A kid at that age is considered a criminal. It's definitely not a big deal. But the amount of reward offered by the world government is clearly to the extent that you must die. It means that you have something on you that they really want gone. Strength? Impossible. Devil fruit? Impossible. Knowledge? At that age, you can only be ordered to kill because you have mastered some kind of knowledge. Of course, you don't have to show such a surprised expression. In fact, I didn't think of this level at first. But before, Buggy told me that you may be the only person in the world who can translate the poneglyph, and I asked you to teach me, but you immediately refused to teach me. So, are you afraid that if I learn this knowledge, I will be hunted down by the world government just like you? Hissed Robin's heart shocked. What kind of monster is this boy? Surprisingly, they were quickly linked together with such a small amount of information, and made the most correct guess. Even her inner thoughts are properly grasped. At this moment, Robin even felt a little scared. If she gets on the ship of such a person, it may not be a simple matter for her to keep her secret in the future, but think about it, such a guy is strong enough to instantly kill Crocodile. With such a strong IQ and reasoning ability, there is no doubt that, in the near future, such a person will definitely not be an ordinary person. If she can get the protection of this person, it seems pretty good. The most important thing is, this guy now shows a strong interest in the poneglyph. Robin's dream is to translate all the poneglyph in this world, and find out the history that happened 800 years ago. Now if Luffy does this, then she can do this together. As long as she follows Luffy, this is much more comfortable than her constant betrayal and being betrayed among various forces before. Thinking of this, Robin immediately said, since you already understand the consequences this knowledge will bring to you, if you still insist on learning, I can teach you. More chapter available at patreon.com/goldengaruda. Comment 5 comment vote. Chapter 103. The great evil Luffy is real. Okay. I'll learn. If it was before, Luffy might consider it. After all, if he is ordered to be hunted down by the world government, he also has to consider his grandpa's feelings. But now, have been inexplicably has a bounty of 50 million belly, so what's the difference between being hunted down by the world's government? At this time, Robin said again, but I have one condition. If you promise me, I will really teach you. Luffy shrugged his shoulders. Well, let's talk about it first. What is the condition? According to Crocodile's information, there is a poneglyph under the funeral hall in the Alabasta Royal Garden. I want to translate this poneglyph. Robin stated his conditions. This. What is the funeral hall? To put it bluntly, it's the family's ancestral grave. And it's the royal family's ancestral tomb. Can he really came in and out? Robin continued, you can ask the little princess in Alabasta for help. Little princess. Luffy thought for a while, then realized that what Robin said is Princess Vivi. Luffy defeat Crocodile, which is a big credit to the whole Alabasta. and it was Princess Vivi who asked Luffy for help on this matter. So, if Luffy brings this matter up to Princess Vivi, the other party should have a high probability of accepting. It seems to work. I can try, but I can't contact her now. I can't go to the gate of the palace and say, "Hello, let me meet your princess." Puff listening to the scene described by Luffy, Robin was amused. Then, she smiled, "Don't worry about this, I can contact her." Looking at Crocodile who died on the ground, Robin said, "Now Crocodile just died, and no one in Baroque Works knows about it. As long as I use Crocodile method to issue instructions, I can contact MS Wednesday." "Okay, then you can contact her." Luffy nodded, then thought of something, and said, "Wait. In addition to this, you send another order, so that the other agents of the Baroque work camp can come here. Are you going to wipe them all out?" Robin said in shock. "Yeah, they're worth a lot of money to make." Luffy said solemnly. The next day, the senior agent of the Baroque Work Agency was taken away. The Mary docked at the wild port of the island where the 19th branch of the Marine is located. "What are we waiting for here? Didn't you say that you want to exchange them for a bounty?" Seeing that Luffy and others are actually docking here, Robin is very surprised. "Wait for time." Robin looks dazed. The night is slowly falling. The mirror-like moon hangs in the sky, pouring the brilliance as clear as flowing water onto the vast sea. "Well, the moon is a little bright today, but it doesn't hinder us from doing things." Luffy looked up at the sky, then stretched out his hand and made a tactical gesture forward, immediately jumped onto the island first, and got into the grove. Buggy, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp follow. Ah! Looking at this scene, Robin opened his red lips in astonishment. He looked at the senior agents who had fainted in the shackles of the seawater barrel, and looked at Nami suspiciously. What are they going to do? Why didn't they carry the prisoner? Nami smiled. Hee, you'll know later. After a while, when the 5 thugs rushed out from the woods, Robin opened her mouth wide in shock. Under Robin's stunned gaze, Luffy commanded, and the others came in groups of 2 and picked up the poles. Several seawater wooden barrel shackles are hung on each pole. The moonlight opened the way, and the 5 gangsters went straight to the 19th branch of the Marine. By the time they came back, those senior agents were gone, and they only brought a bag of 232 million belly. That's how you exchange the bounty? Robin understood it, but she was still shocked. "It wasn't originally, but then there was a little accident, so we need to improvise." Luffy laughed, and then took everyone to count the money. Marine 19th branch. Aoao, it hurts. "What the hell? My legs and arms are swollen in 5 places, and you are only swollen in 1 place. Why are you yelling?" "Damn it! I was only swollen in 1 place. But those guys, I don't know what kind of hatred that person has with me." Such a thick wooden stick slapped my butt in the same place more than 10 times. "Ouch, ouch." Just as the Marine soldiers were wailing, the financial officer with a bruised nose and a swollen face ran over. "Captain, we found out that a total of 232 million belly were taken away." The people in the barrel at the door also found out that they all have bounties. Their total bounty is exactly 232 million belly. Can there be such a coincidence? The Marine captain rubbed half of his swollen face and asked in doubt, "Captain, why don't we report to our superiors that someone brought wanted criminals in exchange for a reward of 232 million belly? This way the superiors won't know that our base has been raided," the financial officer said in a low voice. The captain thought for a while, and suddenly his eyes lit up. He raised his hand. "No. You report it like this. Just say that this group of gangsters attacked Marine headquarters at night. I led everyone to resist bravely, and finally arrested most of them, but 5 accomplices escaped with 332 million belly." "Captain, it's 232 million belly," the treasurer corrected. Hearing this, the captain's face changed, and he poked the financial officer's forehead with his index finger. "Are you so stupid? You obviously lost 332 million belly." The financial officer finally came to his senses. That's right. It's 332 million belly, and there are only a few million belly left in the entire treasury. These bastards, damn it. Sengoku, damn it. When the screen is over, I need to check this captain to see if he has done this kind of operation before. Gold Roger, haha. Of course he did. Most Marine are corrupt. Shiki, I'm dying of laughter. This captain not only got a beating, but he was able to get 100 million berries for himself immediately from this incident, and then he won the great credit for arresting all the senior agents of the entire Baroque works. What talent in the Marine. Buckingham Stussy, Sengoku, he has made such a great contribution. Why can't you promote him to be a commodore? Charlotte Linland, mama. Edward Newgate, Gururara Zephyr, a mockery of a Marine he is. Back to Alabasta, contact Princess Vivi. Princess Vivi brought Luffy and his party into the palace. Luffy and his party are hosted by King Cobra himself with the highest royal banquet. "Mr. Luffy, if Vivi hadn't told me the truth, I would still be in the dark." Cobra raises his glass to toast Luffy before he was still wondering why it suddenly started raining all over the country. He asked the palace guards to investigate this matter, but found nothing. It wasn't until Princess Vivi returned to the palace and told him the matter that he realized that there was a noble person to help. "Well, you're welcome. It's also related to Vivi, otherwise, we're already on another island." Luffy is not hypocritical, he eats meat and drinks in big bowls. The banquet is very festive. Vivi also took the initiative to drink wine with Nami. Both of them drank peach red and willow green. Sanji hugged 4 or 5 maids, and while eating the delicious food that the maid stuffed into his mouth, he sprayed nosebleeds, and might even die from it, if Chopper did not help during this period. Bell, the captain of the palace guard, came to Cobra several times. Cobra apologized to Luffy very politely, and then went to the door to listen to Bell. The distance from the banquet table to the door of the banquet hall is very long, and the two of them are standing outside the door. Even observation Haki cannot hear what they are talking about. However, this does not include Luffy. Luffy's observation Haki clearly heard the conversation between Cobra and Bell. Probably the content is, because Alabasta started to rain again, people celebrate everywhere. Many people hope that their patron saint, Mr. Sand Crocodile, can dedicate himself to celebrate with them, but Crocodile disappeared for several days and never showed up. Many die-hard fans began to worry about whether Crocodile was in danger, and someone called Marine. Marine headquarters contacted Crocodile, but failed to connect. So, Marine contacted Alabasta's royal family and asked them to help pay attention to Crocodile's movements, and Marine headquarters said that if Crocodile has not been found, the headquarters will send someone to investigate this matter in person. After talking with Bell, Cobra came back to the banquet again. He didn't mention this to Luffy and the other this matter. Luffy didn't ask much. Mr. Luffy, on behalf of the people of the entire Alabasta, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude to you and your partners. If you have any requests and needs, just mention it to me. As a king, Cobra must express his sincerity to Luffy. How can it be just a banquet? However, the tax revenue of the Alabasta royal family is not high, and because of the drought in the past 2 years, Cobra allocated funds for disaster relief everywhere, resulting in the treasury running out of money. Otherwise, Cobra will directly throw out 1 billion belly to thank Luffy right now. Instead of waiting anxiously for Luffy to speak, Luffy thought about it, then smiled. Actually, I learned about it through Vivi. Your royal family's treasury is also tight now. But since you have spoken, maybe 200 million. Just take it as compensation for me. 200 million belly is actually quite a figure for the current Alabasta royal family, but by tightening their belts, the money can still be squeezed out. Okay. In addition to 200 million belly, you should also bring more wine and ingredients from the palace. A few days later, Mary is docked at the wild port of Nanohana except for Luffy. Everyone is on board Nanohana, downtown. On the dome of the tallest building, a figure appears here. Look, there is someone there. It's patron saint, Mr. Crocodile. Is Master Crocodile back? No, he's not Mr. Crocodile. He's the big pirate Monkey D. Luffy with a bounty of 50 million belly. I remember him. He fought with Mr. Crocodile and defeated Mr. Crocodile. Look, what is he holding in his hand? I can't see clearly. Soon, there will be a large crowd gathered here, and there will be many Marines who come to investigate the disappearance of the crocodile. Luffy is standing on the dome, looking down. His hand is holding the head of Crocodile. Although so many days have passed, under the ability of Nami Smooth Fruit, Crocodile's head is still lifelike. Crocodile was killed by him, so no matter how Cobra explains it to Marine, it will definitely not make sense. As for revealing the truth about Crocodile's crimes and dancing powder to the common people, don't even think about it. People only believe what they see with their own eyes, including Luffy himself as well. When he met Crocodile for the first time, he thought Crocodile was a model worker serving the people. Combined with the previous dancing powder, if Cobra wants to reveal the truth to the people, he will only be considered to be framing Crocodile. In the end, many people even think that Cobra must be jealous of Crocodile's reputation in the hearts of the people, so he framed the patron saint of the people of Alabasta. Of course, these civilians cannot be blamed too much for this. After all, their strength and vision determine that they cannot see the truth clearly. Now that Luffy is standing here, he intends to end it. Crocodile was killed by him, so he intends to let more people know. However, in this way, the dead Crocodile will still be a good guy, and he, Luffy, is confirmed as the big villain. It doesn't matter. I have already been offered a reward of 50 million, why don't I let my reward be raised? Shaking his head slightly, Luffy looked at the crowd below, and threw Crocodile's head casually. Chapter 104. Chapter 104. The Straw Hat Pirates are officially established. Crocodile, red border. Luffy, that bastard. Damn it. Seeing that his head was thrown from a height to the ground by Luffy like that, Crocodile was about to explode. Don Quixote da Flamingo, this is good. This way you will always be the patron saint of Alabasta. You are now forever living in the hearts of the people of Alabasta, and you are the eternal patron saint in their hearts. Phew. Jun, with what Crocodile did, he deserved his death. From this point of view, Luffy over there did the right thing. Sakazuki, that's right, the damned pirate should be killed on the spot. Marine Headquarters Marshal, here is an application to revoke the bounty. Vice Admiral Tsuru came to Sengoku's office and saw a document left on Sengoku's desk. Sengoku frowned. He looked at Vice Admiral Tsuru with some doubts. Does this kind of application need to be submitted to me? Do you need to submit it in person? Take a look before you talk. Vice Admiral Tsuru smiled wryly and shook her head. Open files after Sengoku. This is the application report submitted by Captain Hina. The content inside is probably. She went to Drum Kingdom to investigate Wapol, and found out that what Luffy said before was actually true. Wapol has indeed ruined the Drum Kingdom for several years, and it is true that because of the Blackbeard Pirates' attack on Drum Island, Wapol took his Kingsguard to become a pirate. In this way, the application for Luffy's most frequent bounty that she and the Marine captain submitted together at that time was a misunderstanding. Not only did they not kill innocent people randomly, but they also rescued the civilians of the original Drum Kingdom from the dire straits. After finding out about this matter, Captain Hina felt very guilty. She rushed to Marine Headquarters overnight, and once she got back to Marine Headquarters, she wrote this bounty revocation report to redeem the mistake she made. Seeing the purpose of this application, Sengoku smiled, then revoke it. But, there is another piece of information. Vice Admiral Tsuru gave a wry smile, and put another document on the table. Sengoku was a bit inexplicable. Tien opened it and took a look. This bastard. He killed a Shishibukai. This simply doesn't take us Marines seriously. Seeing the contents of the letter, Sengoku slapped the table suddenly, and all the documents on the table jumped up. However, Vice Admiral Tsuru sighed. I said that you were too confused, and you still don't see the point. Can't you read the name of this wanted person again? Name? Hearing this, Sengoku looks at this person's name, Monkey D. Luffy. This level of reward was not issued by Sengoku before, so this is the first time Sengoku has seen the reward about Luffy. He had a lot of work and was very busy every day, so he just focused on watching the incident and didn't pay much attention to his name. Now he heard Vice Admiral Tsuru's emphasis, and noticed this person's name, Monkey D. Sengoku's eyes popped, and he immediately looked at this person's profile. Age is about 16 years old, have a habit of picking his nose when talking. Seeing this, Sengoku suddenly exclaimed, no way, is it the grandson of Garp? There is no doubt, he is Garp's grandson. The wry smile on Vice Admiral Tsuru's face became stronger. Damn it. Sengoku takes this document and walks quickly out of the office. Walking for a while, he stopped and said angrily, Garp bastard. He promised to train his grandson to be a pillar of the marine, but now his grandson actually killed the Shishibukai that we recruited with great difficulty. Vice Admiral Tsuru asked in a deep voice, what should we do now? Do we want to talk to Garp about this? Of course you have to talk about it. Let him, that old bastard, see what good things the bastard grandson he taught has done. Sengoku was furious, then the revocation of the bounty. Vice Admiral Tsuru asked again. Sengoku was so angry that he said angrily, denied. Increase in the amount of his bounty. Vice Admiral Tsuru took a deep breath, then how much do you think is suitable for his increase? This kid can kill Crocodile. The new bounty starts with at least 100 million belly. Considering that it is mentioned in the document that Crocodile has captured many pirates for the people of Alabasta, it can be said that he is a great hero in the hearts of the people of Alabasta. The kid from the Garp family killed such a person. The impact is extremely great. Make it 200 million belly. Sengoku decides. Alabasta Imperial Palace. When Cobra found out what Luffy was doing in Nanohana, he was in tears. Is this the compensation for the 200 million belly? Hey, compared to 200 million belly, his kindness is really too great. Vivi also heard the news. She stood at the window looking at the direction of the sea. Her little face was also covered with water. Luffy, thank you. Mumbling, Princess Vivi puts the straw hat on her head. If Luffy is here, he will be surprised that this straw hat is almost exactly the same as his straw hat. This straw hat was made by Princess Vivi by the palace tailor. It is the same style as Luffy's straw hat. The only difference is that the edge of the straw hat is decorated with 10 small flowers. When Luffy and his group left before, Princess Vivi actually had an urge to go out to sea with Luffy. However, after careful consideration, Princess Vivi still decided to stay because she saw how close the relationship between Nami and Luffy was. She didn't know what it was like, so she never had the courage to ask to go to sea with them. Nami, Vivi over there seems to have a crush on the red border Luffy too. Seeing the Luffy couple hat custom made by Princess Vivi herself in the video, Nami was overjoyed. Before this, she was always teased by her friends, but now someone can share the firepower for her. Oh yeah, Niko Robin couple hat. Although the red border Luffy over there doesn't know about it, maybe they will meet again in the future. Vinsmoke Sanji, hey, this is not fair. Why both Nami-chan and Vivi-chan like Luffy? Can't you all like me over there? Rorono Zoro, stupid curly eyebrow, please be quiet. Can you not come out and embarrass yourself? Boa Hancock, my god, is Mr. Luffy over there so popular? Then my competition over there is fierce. A few days later, on the sea. It has been several days since the Mary left Alabasta. A new seagull flew over. Nami made a gesture with her little hand, and the new seagull landed. Nami took out 100 belly and put them in Seagull Hunt's front pocket, and then pulled out a new newspaper. The messenger seagull flew away. Wow. As soon as the newspaper was opened, Nami cried out, beautiful Nami-chan, what happened? Please allow this night to protect you. Sanji came over afterwards. When he saw the headlines on the newspaper, he opened his mouth wide in astonishment. Everyone gathered around and saw that the bounty on the front page of the newspaper was exactly Luffy with a big grin. Name, Monkey D. Luffy reward, 200 million berries. Crime, killing King Wapol, killing Shishibukai Crocodile. Affiliation to pirates, temporarily unknown position. Captain, the bounty of Nami and Zoro are still 50 million belly. And then, there is one more. Chopper. A reward of 50 belly is offered. Defined as a pet. As for the others, there is no reward for now. Of course, Buggy and Robin have bounties themselves, but because Marine didn't know they were on Luffy's ship, they didn't put Buggy and Robin's bounties in Luffy's unknown pirates column. Damn it! Even Chopper has a bounty, but Usopp and I don't have a bounty. Sanji flipped through the newspaper several times, chanting non-stop. This feeling makes him feel as if he doesn't get respect from Marine. This is troublesome. Even if Luffy doesn't want to be a pirate, this time he can only be a pirate. Zoro frowned and said with some displeasure. He is the first person to become Luffy's partner, so naturally he knows that Luffy has no interest in being a pirate. Luffy patted Zoro on the shoulder. Don't worry, they can call us whatever they like. Anyway, we only do what we want to do. He looked at the line unknown pirates in the newspaper, and twitched his mouth. Since we have been confirmed as a pirates, why not give our pirates a name? Nami opened her mouth in surprise. Really, are we going to be a pirate? Although she was a thief before, she is still fundamentally different from a pirate. Also, because of the Arlong pirates, Nami hates pirates very much. It doesn't matter, if everyone disagrees, then this matter will not be mentioned. Luffy shrugged his shoulders, very carefree. No. I don't want to refute what you mean, I'm just a little sudden, but if it's your decision, Luffy, I fully support it. Buggy on the side heard Luffy say that, he was so happy. If there is anyone on this ship who most wants Luffy to form a pirate group, then Buggy and Usopp are definitely the top two. Seeing that Luffy has this idea now, Buggy immediately suggested, I propose, let's call it the Luffy Pirates. His own previous pirate group was called the Buggy Pirates, so now he naturally thinks of this name. No, let's call it the Usopp Pirates. I used to be the captain of the pirates, and now it's just right to be your captain. Usopp excitedly recommended himself one. Nami's armament Haki's fist landed on Usopp's head immediately. Then she yelled at Usopp, idiot. Of course, the captain is Luffy. That's right. Nami-chan is right. The captain is Luffy. Sanji raised his hands with red hearts in his eyes. Of course, said Zoro. Chopper raised his little hoof. I have no objection. As for Robin, her opinion is not important because Luffy doesn't accept her as a partner for now, but just made an agreement with Robin to let Robin stay on shipboat to teach him the ancient language. Okay. Since everyone agrees, our pirate group will be formally established today. Looking at the partners, Luffy sets the tone. Then he smacked his lips. However, I feel that it is a bit strange to use my own name as the name of the pirate group, so it is better not to call it the Luffy Pirate Group. Luffy thought for a while, touched his straw hat, and said with a smile, the straw hat had witnessed the joining of each of our partners in our journey. Why not call it the Straw Hat Pirates? Straw Hat Pirates, sounds good. Zoro nodded. Since it is Luffy's decision, I agree. If Nami agrees, I agree too. Okay, I have no objection either. Do you really not think about the name Usopp Pirates? Usopp lay down on the ground. In this way, the Straw Hat Pirates are officially established. Then, drawing the pirate flag in the sea, every little famous pirate group has a special mark. For example, the red-nosed skull of the Buggy Pirates. Another example is the cat skeleton of the Black Cat Pirates. Another example is the red shark of the Arlong Pirates. It can be said that the most basic requirement for a qualified pirate flag is, as long as others see this pirate flag, they can recognize which pirate it is. The name of Luffy's pirate group is the Straw Hat Pirates, so the special logo is easy to think of. Afterwards, Luffy drew the pirate flag himself, scaring everyone to death. Then Usopp volunteered to draw a slingshot skull, and was hammered by Nami again. And then, Usopp finally drew the pirate flag of the Straw Hat Pirates seriously. As the sail with the straw hat skull slowly rises, everyone feels at ease in their hearts. In the corner not far away, Robin looked at the group of busy figures. Envy quietly arose in her heart. The group this time seems a little different. Chapter 105. Chapter 105. The friendship from 400 years ago appeared in the chat room. Monkey D. Garp. Ah, damn it. Why did he still go down the road of pirates? Shiki, gee ha 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 ha. Didn't you Marines push him? Sengoku, shut up. We over there don't know the truth about what Crocodile did. How could he not be wanted for such a serious crime as killing Shishibukai? Right now the screen with the red border slowly dimmed. The screen with white borders gradually brightened. The screen appears. The Straw Hat Pirates have left Alabasta. They followed the log pose and raced wildly on the sea. A lot of debris fell from the sky. Afterwards, a big, dilapidated ship crashed down. And at this time, the log pose on Nami is pointing at the sky. Luffy, Zoro and Sanji went to sea to salvage the shipwreck, and found the map of Sky Island. Capone Big Sky Island? Could such a place really exist? Eustace Kid, islands floating in the air? Impossible. Urage, what are you thinking? Of course Sky Island exists. Because I am from Sky Island. Jewelry Bonnie, Sky Island really? How do these islands float in the sky? Urage, there is a sea of clouds composed of special sea clouds in the sky, and there are islands composed of islands in the sea of clouds. This is Sky Island Shiki. It's really troublesome. Just put the island directly into the sky, isn't it Sky Island? Gold Roger, ha ha ha. Golden Lion, you are funny, haha. Afterwards, the monkey ship of the salvage pirate Masura Pirate came. Masura tried to salvage the ship but was unable to do it because of Luffy and the other, and he decided to investigate. Seeing Luffy he tried to ask what is the crew doing, but Luffy just said Masura looked like a monkey and he take it as a compliment, making the aggression lose. After that the Straw Hat sailed to Jaya Island. The Straw Hat Pirates met Blackbeard, Bellamy and others. Afterwards, relying on the information Robin obtained, they came to the northeast corner of Jaya Island and found Mont Blanc Cricket. When Cricket explained to Luffy and others that they could go to Sky Island with the help of Knockup Stream, Luffy excitedly said that he would go, but Usopp strongly opposed it. Okay, I see, in that case we'll forget about the Sky Island. Ha ha ha, what a pity, Luffy, only the luckiest of the luckiest of the luckiest can get there. Usopp tries hard to explain to Luffy how impossible the trip to Sky Island will be. However, Luffy laughed, no problem, let's go. No problem. You mean you will trust those rambling words? Usopp pointed at the Mary, bursting into tears. Look at the Mary, look at her bruises all over her body. How can she withstand the shock of the Knockup Stream? At this time, Cricket said, that's right. Even if the ship is brand new, it will not be able to reach it safely. It will disintegrate in an instant at the moment when the Knockup Stream breaks out. What? Hearing this, Usopp's expression changed. Cricket turned his back to Usopp and continued, but you don't have to worry, Masura and Mori will help you strengthen the hull. Oh ho ho ho. Leave this matter to us. Mori and Masura raised their fists and said excitedly. Usopp and Nami are sweating at the same time. These guys are really nosy. Then, when Cricket said there would be a Knockup Stream tomorrow, Usopp exploded completely. He roared, no, you are lying. According to what you said just now, the chance of going to Sky Island is very low. But when we just said that we can only stay on this island for 1 day at most, and you said that there will be a Knockup stream tomorrow, and we just met today, and you wanted strengthen the hull of our ship and escort us, how can there be such a good thing? Usopp was so angry that he put on a posture to fight Cricket. Uraj, haha, this guy is obviously afraid of death. But at one moment he said that the boat could not bear it, and at another moment he said that the other party was a liar, haha. I laughed so hard, Scratchman Apu, apapa. Monkey D, Luffy, this is not right. I've only cared about adventures since I was on this journey, but I never thought about the Mary. I also thought that Usopp was just using the Mary as an excuse, but now watching this scene again, Usopp, in fact, you were really worried about the Mary. Usopp, no, I was just scared. Seeing Luffy ask this in the chat room, Usopp burst into tears. After experiencing the duel with Luffy in Water 7-7, Usopp has also matured a lot. He now understands one thing, sometimes, he has to protect the captain's face. Little Mary, brother Usopp is lying, at that time, he cared about me. I can feel the intensity of the crew's concern for me. Usopp, ah. Trafalgar Law, ahaha. The person concerned has come forward to speak out. Jun, I thought he was using the Mary as a cover, but who would have thought that sometimes, the jokes that he casually said are the real thoughts in his heart. Monkey D, Luffy, sure enough, Usopp. I'm sorry, I apologize to you and Little Mary, Luffy is great too. The next day the Mary successfully arrived at the position of the Knockup stream. Although the Blackbeard pirates came out to attack them, the Mary still arrived at the sea above the sky without any risk. Of course, even if the Mary has been reinforced, it still suffered a lot of damage under the impact of Knockup stream. The Straw Hat arrived at the Sky Island and then they were attacked by someone with a wing on his back. Because of the different oxygen level, the Straw Hat almost got defeated by a savior came and saved them. After entering the Gate of Heaven, the Straw Hat pirates and their party appeared on Angel Beach, and they wantedly enjoyed the adventure here, but because they didn't pay the money when they entered the Gate of Heaven, they were regarded as an intruder. Afterwards, the Mary was sent to the altar of God by the Express Shrimp, and Nami, Robin, Zoro, and Chopper were also sent there because they were on the ship. During this period, Nami, Robin and Zoro went into the forest to explore, and they met Luffy, Sanji and Usopp who came from the direction of the Lost Forest. When the 6 of them returned to the altar of God, it was already attacked by priests. No, the mast is completely gone. When he saw the damaged Mary, Usopp was completely dumbfounded. I'm sorry, Usopp. I tried my best, but many places are on fire. Chopper's face was black and gray, wrapped in a bandage, and said sadly. He knows that Usopp has been fixing the Mary all the way, and Usopp has a deep affection for the Mary. When Usopp turned his head to look at Chopper, he immediately hid his sad expression and turned into a smiling face. The important thing is that you are fine. That culprit must be very difficult to deal with, right? Fortunately, it was only the ship that burned, not you. I will fix it. Tony Chopper, Usopp. It turned out that you were in so much pain at the time, but when you turned your head to look at me, you still had to consider my condition. Woo. Usopp, ahaha. What are you thinking? It's not your fault, that bastard priest did it. Monkey D, Luffy, I'm the captain. I ignore the Mary too much. That night, at Luffy's suggestion, everyone held a bonfire party again. However, after everyone has fallen asleep, Usopp gets up to pee. He was just about to go back to sleep when he heard a ding ding dong dong. Usopp was puzzled. He searched for the source of the voice. Finally, he was shocked to find that the voice came from the Mary. What's that sound? There should be no one on board. Because the fog in the Lost Forest is really too big, Usopp can't see clearly from a distance. Listening to the voice from the high platform of the Mary, it is still very scary. However, although Usopp is timid, but considering that the Mary is there, he still has the courage to go there. Through the layers of fog, Usopp is gradually approaching the Mary. In front of the Mary, a small figure wearing a goose yellow raincoat and rain boots, like a ghost, is hammering on the hull. Aware that Usopp saw her, Little Mary the ship spirit showed him her smile and disappear. At this moment, Usopp's face was distorted in horror, his eyes rolled over, and he hit the ground with a bang. Nami, haha, this is the first time Usopp sees Little Mary. He fainted from fright. Usopp, hey. At that time, none of us had heard of the legend of the ship spirit. In the middle of the night, I suddenly saw an illusory figure knocking on the boat. If it were you, you would definitely be scared to death. Nami, hee. I won't admit this, Vinsmoke Sanji. It turned out that Usopp had met Little Mary at that time. Little Mary, actually, I was completely born that night. Although I was conscious before, it was only a superficial consciousness attached to the boat. When Usopp looked at my burnt body, and the emotion of caring for me in his heart completely activated me. Trafalgar Law, amazing. Usopp is the reason. Usopp, the birth of the ship spirit, Little Mary, is not due to me alone, but to the joint emotion of all our crewmen. Of course, my contribution is more than that of others. Hahaha. Afterwards, the Straw Hat Pirates and the God's Island side headed by God's Enel started a duel. When Luffy beats Enel, he also manages to ring the golden bell of Shandora. Whipper, the great warrior of Shandia, who was covered in scars, listened to the wonderful bell, and murmured, did you hear that? Mont Blanc Noland, we kept you waiting for a long time. I hope this bell can be passed on to your descendants. When the beautiful rhythm of the golden bell fell from the sky, Cricket on Jaya Island also heard this wonderful sound. Everything seems to be destined in the dark. The long-awaited bell of the Big Liar 400 years ago finally rang again today 400 years later. Basil Hawkins, Monblin Noland, who would have thought that the story of the great liar Noland that has been circulating in our North Blue for 400 years is true? X Drake, yeah, this is the children's story we all know at North Blue. It's been 400 years. It's unbelievable, how wrong was Mont Blanc Noland back then? Trafalgar Law, if the Straw Hats hadn't struck the golden bell, wouldn't the story of the great liar Noland continue to be passed down? Mont Blanc Cricket, there is no one from North Blue who doesn't know this story. Now, under the broadcast of this screen, everyone in North Blue knows the truth. This story should be changed. Mont Blanc Noland, the golden bell of Shandora, finally rings again. Gold Roger, Nanny. It's that. Edward Newgate, this name, is it the Noland himself? Sengoku, are you the Mont Blanc Noland known as the Great Liar 400 years ago? Mont Blanc Noland, is it 400 years? It turns out that I have been dead for so long. Just now my consciousness suddenly woke up, and then I saw the golden bell rang. Shiki, wow. A man from 400 years ago, ex-Drake, amazing. To be able to hear a household name from North Blue talking. Trafalgar Law, yeah, it's a miracle. Mont Blanc Noland, Monkey D, Luffy. Monkey D, Luffy, Mont Blanc Noland, thank you and your mates. Calgara, Noland. As the parties involved in this incident, Calgara, like Noland, just woke up and saw this scene. Mont Blanc Noland, Calgara, Noland. Mont Blanc Noland, Calgara. Ha 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 ha. The two didn't say anything at all. Everything was in laughter. At this moment, everyone in the chat room, no matter what faction they belonged to, all tacitly did not make a sound. Everyone gave up the stage at this time to these two good friends from 400 years ago. The laughter of friendship. At this moment, it resounds in everyone's mind. Love this story? Hit subscribe and join Infinite Novel to be the first to catch new chapters. Chapter 106. Chapter 106. Roger announces the truth about the great secret treasure. Although Luffy knocked Enel down with the last blow, Enel's ultimate move still fell. The terrifying force of destruction completely destroyed Angel Island. Fortunately, the residents of Angel Island and Shandia have been evacuated, otherwise all the residents of the Sky Island will die. In the end, Enel took the ark and flew away toward the sky. Don Quixote da Flamingo, Fufurfur. As expected of Thunderfruit, this devil fruit is too destructive. It just happened to meet Luffy, who is a rubber man and was restrained, otherwise, everyone in the video just now would have to die. Vista, Logia's devil fruit can't be worse. But that guy ended up flying away to the sky. Why is that? Gold Roger, looks like there is a place above the sky. Golden Lion, have you ever flown up to see it? Shiki, are you kidding? I'm not a Logia. After reaching a certain altitude, I can't breathe. Charlotte Pudding, if it weren't for the screen, we would never know that there are so many magical places in this world. Sky Island is already amazing. I didn't expect that there is something above the sky. When the golden bell of Shandora returned to the ground, the base of the golden bell was also exposed in front of everyone. It is a poneglyph. Robin stood in front of this piece of poneglyph and began to translate, while the rest of the Straw Hat Pirates took the opportunity to find gold. Robin looked at the text of the poneglyph and murmured, the location of the ancient weapon Poseidon. Sengoku, did you see? The text of the poneglyph is all related to ancient weapon. The poneglyph underground in Alabasta was related to Pluton, and now it was about the location of Poseidon in this poneglyph. Are there still people who question whether it was a mistake to eliminate O'Hara? Gold Roger, ha 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 ha, stop lying. There are so many things in the poneglyph, and there are only a few pieces that record the information of ancient weapon. It's just that Niko Robin was lucky, and happened to encounter the information of Pluton and Poseidon in succession. Shiki, I just love the part where Sengoku's old face is swollen immediately. Geez, ha 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 ha. Sengoku, Roger, you bastard. Stop talking nonsense. Edward Newgate, you are the one talking nonsense. Really, even if you are shameless, you can't talk so shamelessly. Marshall D. Teach, so, everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates knows where Poseidon is now? If we can catch this Robin, wouldn't we be able to find Poseidon? Monkey D. Luffy, don't even try to touch Robin. I won't let you get her. Vinsmoke Sanji, looking for Robin-chan? I will kick you to death. Hey, look, something was engraved on the poneglyph. Just when Robin finished translating the poneglyph and was about to meet up with the Straw Hat Pirates, a Sky Island resident pointed to the other side of the poneglyph and informed Robin. Noticing that there are texts on the side of the poneglyph, Robin was very surprised, because she had translated several poneglyph before, but all those poneglyph only have words on the front. How can this piece have words on the side? She looked over immediately, and began to read in a murmur. We came here, found the text, and followed its guidance. Gold Roger. Robin's eyes widened suddenly. It turned out to be the Pirate King Roger. He had actually been to Sky Island? He can write on the poneglyph. And Robin was as shocked as all the viewers. No one could have imagined that he could actually write on the poneglyph. Is this the strength of a pirate king? Sengoku, Roger. Gold Roger, what? What's the matter? Sengoku, bastard Roger. Where did the poneglyph lead you? Gold Roger, guess. Shiki, G ha 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 ha. Let me guess. I guess it led you to Raftel. Gold Roger, ah ha ha. Golden Lion, you really smart, you guessed right away. Monkey D. Garp, Roger, what are you doing with that thing at Raftel? Suru, Garp, don't expose it. Obviously, the big secret treasure he said when he was executed is this copy of the poneglyph. Kid Eustace, Nanny? The secret treasure is just some words. Capone Beeg, no way, if we finally reach Raftel, we will only see a bunch of text. Sengoku, that's right. Roger the bastard actually lied to everyone. If someone really stupidly arrived at Raftel, all they find is just some text, so give up. Sengoku was quick-witted and immediately realized that this was an opportunity to dissuade the pirates from going to Raftel. Urage, no way? Sir Roger, is this true? Scratchman Apu, Ape Papa. Pirate King lied before he die. Cavendish, Mr. Roger, please tell us the truth. Gold Roger, hahaha. Can you really trust Sengoku? He has never been to Raftel, how would he know what I put there? Gold Roger, as I said at the beginning, I put all the treasures I have accumulated over the years as the Pirate King in Raftel. Of course, and all the secret text and information I collected are also placed there. Gold Roger, whoever can reach Raftel can get all my treasures. Of course, you can't ignore the value of these texts. In my opinion, the value of these poneglyph far exceeds the value of my treasures. Sengoku, bastard Roger, stop talking nonsense. Don Quixote da Flamingo, foo. Some idiots question the value of text? Just the information of ancient weapon, I'm afraid it's not comparable to wealth. Capone Big, sure enough. The great secret treasure is real. Charlotte Linland, Roger, now that you've been resurrected, start sharing the information on the poneglyph in the chat room? Shiki, ha. Linland, your proposal is good. Monkey D. Dragon, is such an important moment about to happen. Gold Roger, ha. Don't even think about it. Those things are prepared for the next Pirate King. If you want to get my treasure and the content of the poneglyph, go find them yourself. When so much information about Raftel's big secret treasure is revealed, people who are watching the movie are all aroused with ambition. All the treasures of Pirate King Roger plus the information that is countless times more valuable than the treasures. Such a big secret treasure, enough to make people crazy. Marine Headquarters, Marineford. Seeing what Roger said in the chat room, Sengoku was furious. He was staring at Roger on the deck of the Moby Dick ahead, angrily said, Roger, you will destroy this world. Roger shrugged his shoulders and smiled lightly. Oh, then let's destroy it. Back to the screen. By the way, little girl, don't you want gold? I heard that below, it is worth more than the earth? Chief Shandia pointed to the super huge golden pillar next to him and said, it is definitely impossible to give the golden bell to you, but I will give you this pillar. The residents of Angel Island next to them heard what Chief Shandia said, and they all agreed, what a great idea. We are thinking about how to thank them. This is a really good idea. Hearing this, Robin smiled, really? Then they will be very happy. Seeing that Robin agreed, Chief Shandia immediately commanded everyone work together to move this pillar to their ship. Yes, this is a gift to thank them for defeating Enel. Be careful, this is heavy. Wrap it with cloth, otherwise it will be difficult to move. Whether it's the angels or the Shandias, they all work together and start to act at this time. Afterwards, this over 20-meter long super large golden pillar was tightly wrapped in cloth strips, and with the combined efforts of countless people, it slowly walked towards the Straw Hat Pirates. Vinsmoke Sanji, wait. This, Usopp, OMG, Nami, ahaha, let me die. Monkey D, Luffy, aha. Shanks, what's the matter? Luffy, what's the matter with you? Gold Roger, Straw Hat Boys, why are you so shocked? Capone Big, what happened to the Straw Hat? Trafalgar Law, the Straw Hats, what the hell is going on? Niko Robin, you will know when see it later. Why hasn't Robin come yet? It's so slow. Why is this place so empty? Where did those angels and Shandia go? Wouldn't it be better not to be here? Save them from chasing us. Yeah, we stole so much gold. Everyone is carrying a bulging package, which is filled with all kinds of gold treasures. Soon, they saw Robin and the people carrying the golden pillar. It's just that the gold pillar is wrapped in cloth at this time, and the gold cannot be seen from the outside. Luffy held up his hands and yelled to Robin, hey, Robin, hurry up. We're going to jump and run with gold. Sanji suddenly said angrily, bastard, keep your voice down. Didn't you see so many people behind her? Yeah, the crowd is much. Chopper was very surprised. Usopp held his head in his hands, breaking out in a cold sweat. Not good. They also have super cannons. At this time, Luffy showed a corner of his back with gold on his back, grinning and shouting, look, we have a big harvest. Robin, run. We can't stay here any longer. After speaking, Luffy ran away. This time, the people of Angel Island and Shandia are all shocked. Why are they leaving in such a hurry? Hey, wait a minute. Don't run. Everyone is carrying the golden pillar. Quickly speed up the pace and rush towards the direction of Luffy and others. But the Straw Hat Pirates were guilty of being a thief. When they saw these people speeding up towards them, they immediately panicked. Sanji was startled. No, we were exposed. Usopp is the fastest runner, and he still doesn't forget to say wait a little longer? You told us to wait a little longer, so we just wait a little longer? Luffy laughed loudly. What? Didn't you say they would accept this golden pillar? The people who watched the Straw Hat Pirates all ran away quickly, and the people of Sky Island all looked at Robin in a daze. Robin smiled, hee. It seems that they don't want it anymore. Afterwards, Robin quickly ran to the Mary. The video plays here. The big screen with the white border slowly goes down, puff. Just seeing this scene, everyone in the chat room burst into laughter. Gold Roger, ha 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 ha. Damn it, they really made me laugh. Edward Newgate, these guys are really too polite. Don't even want such a big gold pillar. Goo. Trafalgar Law, no wonder they look crazy at this moment. LOL, I'd be crazy too. Capone Big, I'm afraid I would commit suicide ha 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 ha. Jewelry Bonnie, it's a sad story, but for us, it's too funny. Chapter 107, Chapter 107 100% safe and secure on Sky Island. Not long the screen with the red border slowly brightened again. Under the night, the Mary is sailing on the sea in Nami and Robin's room. Luffy is studying the ancient text with Robin very seriously. This character should be translated as big, right? Luffy pointed to a character composed of 2 small rings and a long cylinder, and asked, yes. Robin nodded, she touched her mouth, yawned and said, study during the day and study at night. Are you going to finish studying and let me leave early? Ah ha ha. Then you misunderstood. Not waiting for Luffy to answer, Nami on the side laughed. Luffy, he just wants to learn the knowledge early. As for other things, he won't do until he finished this. When I first got on the ship, he came to me every night to study, and he learned all my sailing knowledge in just 3 months, Nami added. Hearing this, Robin felt a little more relaxed. Hey Robin, can you tell us about what happened in O'Hara back then? Seeing Luffy burying his head in his studies, Nami started questioning Robin. Although this is a sad story for Robin, but after so many years, Robin's heart has long been less sensitive. She smiled softly. No one will believe me if I say tell the story. Is it about Buster Call? At this time, Luffy raised his head. If it's not a secret, then tell us about it. No one stipulates that what is said must be believed by others. After thinking for a while, Robin began to talk about what happened in O'Hara. The moon crows, the sound of the waves remains. On the deck of the Mary, the partners of the Straw Hat Pirates started their morning exercises. What about Robin-chan and Luffy? Sanji looked around and asked with some doubts. Nami replied, hands, the 2 of them got it very late last night, so I lets them sleep a little longer. Hateful. Hearing this, Sanji's neck became thick with jealousy. In the afternoon, Nami suddenly exclaimed, the log pose is broken. Everyone looked over immediately, and saw that Nami flicked her wrist vigorously, but the direction of the log pose is still pointing at the sky. Luffy narrowed his eyes slightly. Don't worry. It doesn't matter if it's broken, I'll get a new one. When he left Alabasta before, Luffy considered that the log poses might be damaged due to accidents, so he bought 10 log poses at Alabasta. Although the price of the log pose is not low, but for today's Straw Hat Pirates, this little money is really not even a sprinkle of water. After a while, Luffy came out of the cabin with a livid face. Something is wrong. All the log poses are pointing to the sky. What? That unscrupulous boss sold us all fake products. Usopp clenched his fists angrily. However, Luffy shook his head. Impossible. I bought these log poses in 2 stores, so they can't all be fakes. And the log pose in Nami's hand was given by Uncle Crocus. If there is a problem, it can only be there. Luffy points to the sky. Nami, red border. Luffy is amazing. He found the problem right away. Vinsmoke Sanji, hey. He has 10 log poses. Can't this find the problem? Monkey D, Luffy, huh? This is a good idea. We will also carry 10 log poses when we go to sea in the future. If one is broken, there are still many spares. And we can also compare each other to check whether the log pose is broken. Seeing that the red border Luffy held out 10 log poses at once, the white border Luffy here shouted that this method is good. Trafalgar Law, interesting. I also need to prepare a few more log poses. Capone Big, it makes sense at this time, Robin said seriously. It must be pointed to the Sky Island. Sky Island? Everyone is full of question marks. Luffy asked suspiciously, are there islands in the sky? What do they rely on to float in the air? No. To be precise, what floats in the air should be the sea. Robin made a slight speculation, but then she shook her head again. But I have only heard about Sky Island, but frankly speaking, I haven't read any literature about Sky Island Sea. Hearing this, Luffy became even more puzzled. Sea water should not be able to float in the air? If there is too much water, it should rain. Nami then echoed, that's right. This is impossible. How can the island and the sea float in the air? Maybe there is a problem with the magnetic field here. Robin shook his head. Nami, you and Luffy are both very good navigators. You should know that, as long as the log pose is not broken. Since the magnetic field points upward, there must be an island above. Salvage, kang, salvage, kang. Suddenly, there was a sound of gongs, drums and slogans on the sea. They saw a boat with a bow in the shape of a monkey playing a drum approaching. Boys, have you reached the shipwreck yet? A burly figure leaned against the railing and asked. No, Captain. The crew members answered together. The burly figure asked again, then why did you stop? The crew members continued to answer, meet a ship. Captain, Hearing this, the burly figure turned around, and it turned out to be an ape-man wearing earphones listening to music. He looked at Luffy and the others. What are you doing here? This sea area is my territory. Only I can salvage the sunken ships here. Luffy said, we just passed by here, and didn't plan to fish here. But our log poses are all pointing to the sky. Do you know what's going on? Hearing that Luffy and the others were just passing by, the ape-man's face suddenly softened. He explained, there is indeed a problem with the sea area. Only the permanent log pose can be used here, just like the permanent log pose in my hand is a special guide to Jaya Island. Luffy nodded, I see. Could you please take us to the island you mentioned? We will also go there to buy a permanent log pose. The ape-man said generously, no problem. Just as we are about to return, you just follow us. But suddenly several huge figures suddenly appeared in the sky. Those people seemed to be giants standing behind the clouds, overlooking the earth. Run! The crew of the salvage ship suddenly shouted in horror, and hurriedly set sail. The Straw Hat Pirates were also stunned by the huge figure in the sky. Is there really such a big person in the world? A question popped up in Luffy's mind however, seeing the ship of the Masura pirates sailing away, everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates did not dare to stay following Masura. The Straw Hat Pirates arrived at the northeast corner of Jaya Island. The salvage ship docked, and all the crew members on the ship went ashore in a panic, lying on the ground and breathing heavily, obviously frightened by the scene in the sky just now. The Straw Hat Pirates also went ashore afterwards. They learned from Masura that it is said that monsters sometimes appear in the sky in the sea area. They did not expect to meet them today at this time. Mont Blanc Cricket came out from the next room, and he was a little surprised to see the Straw Hat Pirates. But after Masura explained, so he had no worries. Afterwards, the Straw Hat Pirates learned about the cumulus cloud from Cricket, and the so-called Knockup stream, etc. As for the matter of Sky Island, Cricket said that it's just people's speculation. Isn't this the story of North Blue's household name? Suddenly, Sanji saw the storybook on the small table and exclaimed, "So, I hope this matter can be found out before I die of exhaustion." Cricket said, "Uncle, since there is a legend about Sky Island here, is it possible, actually, the half of the island that Noland mentioned didn't fall into the sea, but flew into the sky?" After listening to what Cricket said, Luffy asked suspiciously. As soon as this remark came out, Cricket laughed out loud. "Don't be kidding. Sky Island is just people's speculation after all, and the Sky Current brought up many ships, but none of them brought back the information of Sky Island. Those ships were finally proved to have fallen from another place and crashed." At this time, the setting sun began to set, and the sunlight slanted from Luffy's back, stretching his figure very long on the ground. Luffy looks at his own shadow, frowning sudden wrinkle. He turned his head to look in the direction of the setting sun, and immediately slapped his thigh. "I know, those black shadows in the sky are actually people living on Sky Island. Sky Island really exists. Hey, Luffy, do you have a fever?" Usopp hurried over and patted Luffy's forehead. Cricket also said firmly, "Impossible. If Sky Island is full of those people, how big is the island enough for those people to live?" Luffy shakes her head. "No, they may not be big at all. How is it possible? Didn't we see it with our own eyes? They are really big," Nami said. Zoro also nodded, "Yes. Luffy, those figures are really big." "You got it wrong." Luffy pointed to his own shadow on the ground and said, "Look, this is my shadow. Due to the oblique sunlight, my shadow is at least 10 meters long now, but am I that tall? Hey, this." Hearing what Luffy said, everyone was stunned. "Yes, shadows can be deceiving." Luffy continued, "Do you still remember those huge black shadows? They can move freely in 360 degrees, which means that the bodies of these shadows are definitely humanoid creatures as long as their position in those cumulus clouds reach a certain distance and angle. Isn't it reasonable that their shadows are placed so large?" Usopp, hey. Luffy's so smart. It was analyzed right away. Trafalgar Law, Red Border. Luffy is insanely smart. Niko Robin, he managed to deduce all of this because of a shadow. Tony Chopper, we also had shadows at the time, but why didn't we think of it? Ben Beckman, I feel. Red Border. Luffy might be smarter than me. Shanks, Uncle, if we want to go to Sky Island, is there a good way? He judged in his heart that Sky Island exists, so Luffy naturally wanted to see it. The original ideal was to see the world, and now there is such a magical place as Sky Island. How could he not go? No. Cricket shook his head immediately. "Your ship simply cannot withstand the impact of the Knockup stream. Even if we help you strengthen the ship will still be damaged. What's more, even if you really go up, if there is no Sky Island on it, then you might." Cricket picked up a clod of soil, then let go of his hand, and immediately, the clod was shattered. Nami pulled Luffy's arm. "Luffy, I also don't think it's suitable to go up. If the judgment is wrong, then we will be greeted by broken bones." Usopp said, "If the Mary bears the impact of the Knockup stream, it may cause serious injuries." It seems that Luffy smiled. "Don't worry about this. Don't worry, I cherish the Mary more than anyone else. With me on the deck, the sea current will not cause her any harm. As for the consequences if there is no Sky Island in the sky, I have also considered it." "Have you forgotten that I can turn into a hot air balloon?" Luffy said. Hot air balloon. The crewmates suddenly remembered that when Luffy fell off the head of Sea Kings, Luffy directly turned into a hot air balloon and floated away with the Mary. And Luffy said that the Mary will not be damaged by the Knockup stream. Although everyone can't figure out how to keep the Mary from any damage, everyone knows that Luffy will never lie to them. Since Luffy says it can be done, it can be done. Chapter 108. Chapter 108. Zoro above the clouds, overlooking the sky. Monkey D. Luffy, I really thought of everything over there. Compared with him, I feel that we were too reckless when we went to Sky Island. If there was any accident at that time, everyone would die because of my recklessness. Usopp, what are you talking about? How can I not understand? Nami, stupid Luffy, we are one. Why is it because of your recklessness? That was our mutual decision. Capone Big, isn't that right? I remember watching the video before. Usopp and Nami were so scared to death, they didn't want to go. They were forced to go by the Straw Hat Boy. Usopp, when did you become blind? Nami, obviously we decided together. Isn't that right, Robin? Niko Robin, yeah. Vinsmoke Sanji, Nami-chan is right. Capone Big. Trafalgar Law, haha. After listening to what Luffy said, Nami happily took Luffy's arm. Since we don't have any worries, then let's explore if there is any free time. Don't worry. We have to go to the town on the island to buy the permanent log pose there. If we fall from the sky, then we have to rely on the permanent log pose to ensure our safe return to the island. Luffy said. Nami patted his head, yes. As a navigator, I must have forgotten it. Robin on the side stares at Luffy in such a short period of time. The shock in Robin's heart has increased several times. She couldn't have imagined that a boy who was only about 16 years old can analyze all the things in place in an instant monster. What's more important is that such a monstrous guy is actually a studious and inquisitive existence. Such a person, no wonder his partners are so convinced of him. In a trance, Robin has a desire to join this group at this time. Cricket said, if you insist on going to Sky Island, then tomorrow is the time. Of course he doesn't want these people in front of him to make fun of his own life, but since Luffy just said that he has made a perfect plan, Cricket will of course stop trying to persuade them. Besides, he also pinned his hopes on the group in front of him, wanting to see if Sky Island really exists. If Sky Island really exists, can these guys really discover things related to Noland and Sky Island? Luffy nodded. Okay, uncle, we have to go to the town to buy some things first. Do you know any nearby town? There is a town in the southwest corner of Jaya Island, called Mocktown, and there is a commercial street there. But you have to be careful, that is a place where pirates gather, and you must not provoke those who cannot be provoked. Cricket reminded. Pirates. When hearing this word, the eyes of the Straw Hat Pirates and the rest of the group immediately lit up. Borsalino, hey. What's the matter with those guys' eyes? Hina, this is clearly the appearance that only appears when the eyes of money are opened. Trafalgar Law, look at Nami, whose eyes have become the shape of belly. Niko Robin, ahaha, it really is. Gold Roger, haha. These guys, this is how do they feel when they hear the word pirate, hahaha. Jun, I can probably guess what they're going to do next. Mary sailed along the coastline of Jaya Island and finally arrived at the port of Mocktown. Wow. These are all pirate ships. Looking at the densely packed pirate ships in the port, Nami's excited little hands pinched Luffy's arm. Get rich. Quickly calculate, how much does this will get us? I will be in charge later to find out if there is a marine base nearby. The group of people have not disembarked yet, they are trembling with excitement afterwards. Luffy, Zoro, Buggy and Nami disembarked and buy things by the way while the others stayed on the ship. The four of them stepped into the town. Looking around, there are pirates coming in and out of the shops everywhere. Nami holds a thick stack of bounty booklets bounty by herself in her hand, flipping through them as she walks. Hey, look at that one. Rainy Night Butcher Samke, picture reward 27 million belly. Good. This is good. Brother Powell, the two add up to only 21 million belly. Cut. This is not bad too. 30 million belly. Get rich. This time we really got rich. The four of them came to a shop specializing in log poses with a good mood. Boss, get us 10 permanent log pose for Jaya Island. Okay. I'll get you some. Luffy stopped him and asked, no hurry. Do you have a permanent log pose to the next island? After all, if they fail to land on Sky Island, they may not necessarily land near Jaya Island when they land, so if there is a permanent log pose for the next island here, then prepare it together. Be prepared. Yes. The next island is Lilith Island. How many do you want? Still 10. Luffy said boldly. Okay. The boss was so excited that they brought 20 permanent log poses after receiving the money. The store owner suddenly added, that's right. There is a large marine base in Lilith Island, which is the 7th branch of Marine. If you are going there, you must be careful. The 7th branch of Marine? Large. Isn't it perfect? Out of the store, everyone went to buy some daily necessities, and then returned to the Mary. Through the record of the permanent log pose, they calculated the time needed to go back and forth from Jaya Island to Lilith Island, and it will take at least 2 days. However, according to what Cricket said, there will be a Knockup stream tomorrow. If they miss it, they can only determine the approximate time range next time. They have to confirm the time of the cumulus cloud again to guess the time of the Knockup stream. After thinking about it carefully, Luffy decided to go to Sky Island first. It's not too late to go to Mocktown to collect after coming down from Sky Island. Sengoku, damn. Are these bastards using Marine Base as a cash machine? Shiki, look at your worthless appearance. Didn't they trade pirates for you? It's not for nothing, Sengoku, but the Marine Base soldiers will be beaten for nothing. Thinking of the Straw Hat Gang 5 going to collect the bounty, Sengoku can't help but feel sad for the Marines at Marine Base over their Gold Roger, haha. It's not your fault, who told you over there to accept their bounties? Monkey D. Luffy, what kind of island is Lilith Island? Why haven't we been there? Nami, from the nautical chart, the original route we took should be Drum Island Alabasta, Jaya Island after Alabasta, Lilith Island after Jaya Island, and then the Long Ring Islands. However, the log pose was pointed to Sky Island during our journey from Alabasta. When we came down from the end of the cloud on Sky Island, we were directly near the Long Ring Islands. Monkey D. Luffy, so it's like this. The next day northeast corner of Jaya Island Masura Pirate and the Mary are dispatched together according to the judgment of Cricket. Masura quickly found the location where the Knockup stream will appear. Mary arrives at the scheduled location after waiting for about an hour. A huge whirlpool suddenly appeared on the calm sea. Very good. The direction of the cumulus cloud is coming in the direction of whirlpool, and it is. Masura looked through the binoculars, and then shouted at the Mary, quick. It's now, let the ship go to the center of whirlpool immediately. On the other side, Xiaozhou also shouted, don't forget to protect your ship. If you don't take any measures, your ship will be torn apart the moment the current surges into the sky. Got it. Thank you so much. Luffy waved his hand, motioning them to retreat quickly to avoid being affected by the Knockup stream. Luffy, we're approaching the whirlpool, is that okay? Usopp holds the steering wheel of the ship and asks nervously. It's okay, leave the rest to me. Luffy's observation haki has been fully released, and has been keeping an eye on the movement in the sea. Usopp, where's their protective measures? Why haven't I seen it yet? If they don't act, it will be too late. Capone Big, it's too late to act now. Jewelry Bonnie, yes, if you want to strengthen the hull, you should at least strengthen it in advance. Gold Roger, what the hell is the Straw Hat Kid over there going to do? Boom! Suddenly, the terrifying vibration of an earthquake came from the bottom of the sea. Immediately, they saw that the sea surface suddenly bulged upwards. Luffy, we are in. Usopp turned the steering wheel and pushed the Mary directly into the center of Whirlpool. Good, Luffy shouted, and suddenly his heartbeat resounded. This moment, his appearance has changed a bit. Hair turned into a state like a white flame. There are flowing clouds like white flames on the neck and arms. Mythical Zoan, Nika. That is to say, at the moment when he transformed into the form of Nika, the Mary under his feet was also instantly affected by him. The whole ship is completely rubberized. Not only that, Luffy also carefully rubberized all his crewmates. Boom! Huge currents shoot out from the bottom of the sea. Not gush instead, it shoots into the sky at an extremely terrifying speed. Mary is right in the middle of the Knockup stream. The bottom of the Mary was suddenly sunken by the current, making the entire hull a V-shape with an arrow pointing upward. Under the power of the Knockup stream, the arrow left the surface of the sea and went straight to the sky. Borsalino, Nanny? He actually activated the awakening ability of the fruit. Kuzin, hey, this method. Gold Roger, it was unexpected. Don Quixote da Flamingo, this guy, he gave the boat the properties of rubber, so that the Knockup stream can't cause damage to the hull. Monkey D. Garp, not only that, look at the hull of the Mary. Hearing what Garp said, people took a closer look. F***K. An armament haki? The rubberization of the awakening ability plus high-level armament haki, even if Admiral attacks himself, the ship cannot be easily damaged. Monkey D. Luffy, he did it, he really did what he promised to the Mary. Little Mary, our Luffy is working hard too. Niko Robin, no. Luffy over there missed one thing. Nami, what's wrong? Niko Robin, when we entered the White Sea, we passed through the White Sea. After entering there, Luffy's ability will be invalid. When everyone heard it, they immediately understood what Robin meant. Once Luffy loses his ability due to the effect of the seawater, the Mary will directly bear the impact of the Knockup stream, and it may directly explode in the White Sea. Not good. Everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates is deeply worried. The Knockup stream went all the way up and soon approached Cumulus Cloud. Luffy, it seems to be a sea of clouds. Nami looked up. Hearing the word sea, Luffy's heart skipped a beat. But, it doesn't matter. He still has a partner. Suddenly, Luffy shouted, Buggy, Zoro, open the sea. The two looked up and immediately realized the devastating consequences of seawater. Buggy flew out with both hands, and flew up with Zoro. The three swords are unsheathed in an instant. Zoro's figure is like an arrow from the string. 3 blades covered with nearly high-grade armament haki roll endless blade wind. Whoosh! Zoro rushed into the sea of clouds above. It was as if a kind of shell had smashed into the ground, and the bottom of the sea sank in an instant. Boom! The top of the sea exploded with a bang. A figure spins out. The 3 swords were inserted into the scabbard in an instant. Buggy's hands hold Zoro's shoulders, making Zoro stand in midair. Zoro clasped his hands in front of his chest, posing in a herringbone shape, and looked down. In his vision, in the water of the White Sea, there is an extremely rough and bright channel directly below. In this passage, the Mary rides the wind and waves. Chapter 109. Chapter 109 Bounty? Damn, elephant gun. Hiss. When the scene where Zoro pierced through the White Sea and successfully cleared the way for the Mary appeared in the screen, almost all the moviegoers gasped. Vinsmoke Sanji, damn it. That green algae head over there is so strong. Vista, this cut is too good. Jewelry Bonnie, how can this guy be so awesome? Dracule my hawk, what a good move. Buggy, hey, hey, hey. I became a tool for him. Monkey D, Luffy, wow haha. Zoro can't fly so far without your hands flying out with Zoro. Your contribution is also great. Cut through the White Sea with one attack. To be honest, although it is difficult, there are still some swordsmen who can do this. Only, using this slash in the background situation just now, the bonus to handsomeness and force is too great. Whether it comes from the trust of his teammates, or the degree of crisis to save the entire crew, all make Zoro's slash full of special meaning. It looks like a very powerful blow, but it symbolizes the complete trust between partners. The Mary rushed out of the White Sea and soared into the sky. Wow, there is really a sea of clouds. On the splint, Nami tightly grasped the fence, looked at this other world that suddenly appeared in front of her eyes, and shouted in surprise. Luffy stretched his hands and legs, clasped the hull of the Mary, took a deep breath, and turned himself into a big fat man. Rubber hot air balloon. On the surface of the White Sea below, the channel pierced by Zoro is refilled by the frenzied influx of seawater as the hot air balloon Luffy landed slowly. The Mary landed on the sea smoothly. Slightly loosened the 2 legs, and found that the Mary has no sign of sinking. Luffy then loosened both hands. It's done. It's really possible to sail here. Luffy shouted in surprise. Robin raised her slender fingers and built a pergola in front of her forehead. Looking up she sighed. Sure enough, there is sea of cloud, but here is a vast expanse of whiteness. Where is Sky Island? At this time, Nami looked at the log pose on his neck in surprise. Why is the log pose still pointing up? Yeah. Hearing this, Luffy looked over, and then looked up. It seems that Sky Island is still higher in the sky. Robin also nodded. It seems that this is just the middle layer of the cumulus cloud, then how should we continue going up? Chopper sat on the railing, knocking on each other with his short legs. Luffy shook his head. I don't know, but since this is the Sea of Clouds, we can look around. Anyway, it's rare to come to such a magical place. Let me try swimming in this sea first. Usopp smiled, took off his shirt and climbed onto the railing. Hey, we are not familiar with this sea area, and we don't know what's in it, so let's not mess around. Sanji smoked a cigarette and immediately reminded, but as soon as he finished speaking, Usopp jumped off. Luffy's observation haki immediately locked Usopp's movement. It seems that the seawater resistance in this sea area is very low. Usopp will go down immediately. Wait, Luffy just said a few words. Suddenly his eyes widened. He hurriedly rushed to the side of the boat and punched the sea below. His fist rushed directly into the sea. CN Fleur. Seeing this, Robin crossed her hands, opening many eyes on Luffy's palms and arms. Of course, Luffy doesn't need this, and Robin also knows that Luffy's observation haki can lock Usopp. She used this trick only because she was curious and wanted to see what happened inside. Luffy's arm quickly passed through the thickness of the white sea, and came directly to the sky below. Usopp sees Luffy's big rubber hands wrapping him around him in a horrified yell. With Luffy's arm retracted, Usopp is pulled onto the deck. Oh my god. I was scared to death. I went directly through the sea below. If Luffy didn't pull me back in time, I would definitely fall to pieces. Usopp breathed hard. Sanji lit a cigarette and shrugged his shoulders. I said earlier that we are not familiar with this place, so don't be reckless. Look, it's almost over. No. The sea below has very little resistance, so it's easy to dive in. Moreover, the visibility in the sea is very low, and there is a vast expanse of whiteness everywhere. Otherwise, I would definitely not swim to the bottom of the sea. Usopp explained. Looking at Usopp's drowned look, Nami said slightly, that means as long as you don't swim to the bottom of the sea, you won't fall into the sky below, right? Yes. If I do it again, I will definitely not be so embarrassed. Usopp replied. Nami heard this, and stepped onto the railing. If that's the case, then I'll try it too. Let's see if this sea will also have a curse effect on Devil Fruit's ability. Nanny? Everyone is stunned. But if you think about it carefully, it seems to be right. Normal seawater will turn Devil Fruit power into a landlubber. They wonder if this Sea of Clouds will work too? Luffy remembered to save me while everyone was still in a daze. Nami had already plunged into it. Then, not a single bubble came out. Perceiving Nami's situation, Luffy shook his head. He stretched out his hand and plunged into the water. His 5 fingers spread wide, wrapped Nami up, and then pulled it onto the Mary. Nami leaned against Luffy weakly, and said depressedly, it seems that the Sea of Clouds has the same effect as the Sea Vinsmoke. Sanji. Damn. Red border. Luffy took advantage of Nami again. Rorono Zoro, idiot. Nami over there is taking advantage of Luffy. Nami, hey, Niko Robin, Suddenly, a shell bombarded them. Luffy's arms stretched out, his palms enlarged, he grabbed the cannonball, and then threw it back at speed as fast as Garp's cannon throw. On the surface of the sea, a Shandia soldier was immediately bombarded. Luffy grabbed the opponent, and carried him directly to the deck of the Mary. This unlucky guy has already passed out. It seems that he was already passed out the moment the shell hit him. Buggy goes up to uncover this person's ghost mask, and then wakes him up with 2 slaps. Hey, bastard. Why are you bombarding our ship? Buggy asked as he watched the Shandian warrior wake up. Damn intruder. As soon as he woke up, the Shandia warrior wanted to continue fighting, but was suppressed by Luffy's conqueror's haki. Luffy asked straight to the point. First, we are not intruders. Second, where is Sky Island and how can we find it? Damn intruder. Shandia warrior turned his head, only this sentence. Hee, so tough. Luffy grinned slightly, and then said, take his equipment, then tie him up and throw him into the sea. Zoro and Buggy immediately unloaded the Shandia gorilla's equipment and tied him. Luffy pouted at him. Last chance, do you want to say? Shandia warriors are still damn invaders. Great warriors will not let you go. The Shandia warrior fell off the boat. Luffy's observation haki locked him, and was surprised to find that this guy just struggled a few times, but didn't show any regrets in begging for mercy. All right. Luffy's arm stretched, and when he crossed the bottom of the sea, he was pulled back. What? Why did you save me? The untied Shandia warrior looked at the equipment thrown back to him, and asked in a cold voice. Although I don't know what your people have experienced, but don't use the word invader to call others. Get out. Luffy kicked the Shandia warrior's ass, and kicked him flying. Why don't you kill him? Robin asked curiously. Luffy said lightly, looking at his situation, it may be that his hometown has been attacked by invaders, but it may also be lying to us, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, we are going to Sky Island, and we will meet his people sooner or later. If they are a damned group of people, it will not be too late to kill him then. Then, the Mary continued to explore. Buggy's head is flying in the air as a lookout. Finally, after sailing for a period of time, the group found the gate of heaven. An old grandma with wing came out. If you want to go to the upper level, each person needs to pay 1 billion Aegis coins. This is the law. How much? How much? Hearing this price, all the crew of the Straw Hat Pirates were shocked. Nami opened his mouth even more. Besides, we only have belly. I've never heard of Aegis coins. Belly? Oh, by the way, you are from land below, and 1 billion Aegis coins are equal to 100,000 belly. Everyone pays 100,000 belly? It's too expensive. With 8 people we have to pay 800,000 belly. Nami waved her small fist dissatisfied. The old lady continued, if you don't want to pay this money, you can go in. Really? Everyone suddenly smiled. However, Luffy said directly, no, we pay. Since you said this is the law of this country, then let's do as it say. Nami was shocked. Hey, Luffy, she clearly said that we can go in without paying. Luffy smiled. Let's pay for it. We have to pay for the entrance fee when we go to the amusement park. Now that their country has this regulation, we'll treat it as if we came to an amusement park. Okay. Hearing what Luffy said, Nami suddenly felt that it made sense. Take out 800,000 belly and hand them to the old lady. Nami looked at the waterfall in front of her. So, shall we go to the upper level? The old lady took out a whistle and blew it, and soon a prawn suddenly appeared on the bottom of the Mary. The moment the prawn held the Mary with its pincers, Luffy's armament haki instantly covered Mary's. The old lady said, "This is the Sky Island specialty express shrimp, it will send you up." As soon as the voice fell, the express shrimp rushed towards the waterfall, and then under everyone's stunned eyes, the express shrimp actually climbed up the straight waterfall. Just as the Mary was leaving, the old lady took out his phone. Heaven's Gate Supervisor's Amazon report. Almighty God and all the priests, please impose heaven's punishment on the 8 illegal immigrants who went to the Holy Land of the Kingdom of God. Monkey D, Luffy, Nanny. The old bastard. Nami, damn it. We didn't pay the money when we went, and it's fine if she tell on us. The red border Luffy over there paid the money. Vinsmoke Sanji, it is estimated that she is here not to accept money or not, but to intercept people from entering Sky Island for Enel and his gang to hunt and kill for entertainment. Roronoa Zoro, it seems so. It's a pity that Luffy and the others over there are not only wanted, but also spent an extra 800,000 belly. Trafalgar Law, not necessarily. The Mary over there has just gone not far away. With Luffy observation haki, he can hear what the old lady said. Express Shrimp took the Mary and went up the waterfall. Luffy frowned suddenly. Go back. He ordered the Express Shrimp below. Robin opened her red lips in astonishment when she heard this. No way, are you communicating with a shrimp? However, Luffy glared at the Express Shrimp, and the Express Shrimp, which was still racing all the way, immediately turned around and turned back. Why are you back again? Watching the Express Shrimp send the boat back, the old lady asked, come back and beat you. Luffy picked up Amazon, and take the 800,000 belly from her just now. Facing such a rude Luffy, Amazon immediately yelled, hey, hello, you bastard. I am the surveillance officer of the Gate of Heaven. You want to violate law? There's a fart law. Luffy pouted, then tossed Amazon into the air. He puts his right hand in his mouth, takes a bite, and blows, then suddenly stretched backward. Gomu Gomu no Giganto Gun. Boom. Surveillance officer Amazon turned into a small black dot and disappeared into the clouds. What's going on? Everyone looked at Luffy in astonishment. Let's talk on the road. Luffy shrugged his shoulders, then glared at Express Shrimp. Express Shrimp ran to the waterfall with the Mary. Chapter 110. Chapter 110. God is here. God is gone. Gold Roger. Haha. Good. This kid, he never disappoint us. Edward Newgate Gururera, being a pirate, that's how it should be. As long as you think it's right, do it without hesitation. Nami, it's so nice. It's so good to see this old woman having bad luck. Usopp, this damn old woman, call her a bad heart. This time she will be sanctioned. Frankie, haha. Super. Express Shrimp took the Mary to the top of the waterfall. Here is another cloud sea road that spirals upwards. There is a big hole at the end of the road that circles the sea of clouds. Whoosh. When the Express Shrimp flew out of the hole, it let go of the claws holding the Mary. Luffy used the hot air balloon to successfully land the Mary in the cloud sea. What comes into view is a vast expanse of white ocean in the distance. The clouds are like cotton candy, like countless hillsides. Above it, there is a staircase that looks like it was artificially built, leading to the top of the clouds on the hillside. Nami pointed to the distance in surprise and shouted, look, there are so many buildings over there. It's Sky Island. There are really people on Sky Island. An island in the sky. This place is like a dream country. As soon as the Mary landed, Usopp jumped off. He walked back and forth a few steps and shouted, come down quickly. These clouds are the same as the clouds at the Gate of Heaven just now. We can stand on them. They are very soft. Then, the members of the Straw Hat Pirates jumped down one after another. Come to such a magical place, no one is not excited watching the happy scene of the Straw Hat Pirates. Robin stood on the deck with mixed feelings before this. Every time she goes to sea and lands, she has a purpose, and she must always be on guard against this and that. It can be said that the vigilance in her heart had never been put down. However, at this moment, he looked at this situation, and it was rare for her to open her heart that had been on guard getting off the boat. Robin opened her hands, facing the wind, letting the sun shine on her face. It turns out that living in the sun is also a good experience. Look! It's an angel. Suddenly, Sanji has a red heart in his eyes. Everyone looked over, and sure enough there was a girl with a super slender figure standing on the hillside and plucking a harp. This girl has straight legs, 2 small white wings behind her shoulders, and 2 butterflies with the same type of antennae on her head. After some exchanges, everyone knows that the girl is a resident of Sky Island. Her name is Conies. Conies invited the Straw Hat Pirates to her home, and everyone ate delicious Sky Island specialties. After dinner, Conies and her father accompanied the Straw Hat Pirates to Angel Beach for a walk, ready to digest food. Luffy thought of the masked man before, so he asked, by the way, we met a man wearing a mask and wearing skate shoes on his feet. Who is that? Conies' father thought for a while then nodded. You should be talking about Shandia. They often send gorilla soldier to stop the land below people trying to enter Sky Island. They look very different from you, father and daughter, aren't they from Sky Island? Luffy continued to ask. Conies' father also seems to be a chatterbox, so he started talking slowly. This thing has been said for a long time. About 400 years ago, a piece of land from the land below was washed into the sky by a monster current. At that time, our ancestors had never seen the land, so they regarded this land as a holy land, and then expelled the aborigines on the island and renamed it Island of the Gods. Hearing this, Sanji was stunned. Nanny? So, your ancestors were invaders. Konis' father nodded shyly. It can be said so. And the Shandias have never given up wanting to take back this land. For this reason, the aborigines of Sky Island and the Shandias have been fighting for land for 400 years, etc. Luffy suddenly interrupted Konis' father. He looked around suspiciously, and said, that's not right, aren't the people around here all the aborigines of Sky Island? But you don't live in your so-called Holy Land. The entire Holy Land seems to be only a few dozen people. Luffy looked around, and the surrounding houses were obviously located on this kind of cloud, not the field area. As for why Luffy knows that there are only a few dozen people in the entire Holy Land, it's because Luffy checked with observation haki just now, and there is a land island not far from Angel Beach. On that piece of land, there are only a few dozen humanoid figures in total. You know the Holy Land. Hearing what Luffy said, Konis' father suddenly showed shock on his face. Luffy nodded, pointed to the south with his finger. Yes, I can feel it, it's in that direction. Why are there only a few dozen people living in such a large piece of land? Konis' father suddenly showed a look of embarrassment. Seeing that Konis' father couldn't answer, Luffy frowned slightly. So, what you told us just now is actually a lie to us, right? She thought Luffy was going to hit someone. Konis' cheeks changed slightly and she shouted, it's not that Eleven's father lied to you, that place is now where God lives. God. As soon as the words came out, everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates showed a black question mark expression pack at the same time. Ha 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 ha. The next moment, everyone burst into laughter. Are you kidding us? How can there be a god in this world? Ha ha ha. What the hell, it's all a lie. We don't look like a fool, do we? Why lie to us with such absurd lies? Listening to the laughter of everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates, Konis and her father's faces suddenly became horrified. They were sweating and trembling non-stop. Don't say it anymore. Please don't say it anymore. Our Sky Island really has a god. If you offend the god, you will be punished by the god. Konis can clearly feel that everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates does not take God seriously. Once they really offend God, it's over. Is there really a god? Recognizing that the emotions of Konis and her father are not faked, Luffy stopped laughing. Konis nodded quickly. Of course it's true. God is high above. He can know everyone's thoughts. Don't be disrespectful to him. Luffy understands. The two people in front of me have been brainwashed by the so-called god. He said in a deep voice, actually, there is no god in this world. If there is, then someone must be pretending to be a god. As soon as these words came out, the faces of Konis and her father suddenly became terrified. And at this time, the sky suddenly became so bright. The panic on the faces of Konis and her father is rendered more realistic. Everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates looked up at the sky, only to see a rapid cluster of lightning suddenly appearing in the sky, like a thunderbolt waterfall, falling down violently. Konis and her father are desperate. Luffy instantly enters Nika form, then raises one hand and pointed to the sky. Boom! All the violent lightning beams hit Luffy's palm, and then there is no more. Even if some splash lightning ripples fall on other people, it is impossible to cause any effective damage. Of course, Luffy has already used rubber assimilation on them. No matter how strong the current is, they can't hurt them. Konis and her father are sitting slumped on the ground with their mouths open and their pupils widening. They couldn't believe that someone could resist God's sanction. Originally they thought they would be affected and die, but now not only did they not die, they didn't even hurt. How can this be? Nami, oh my god. He actually made everyone rubberized. Red Border Luffy is really capable and can do whatever he wants. Monkey D, Luffy, oh. In comparison, I was left behind. Roronoa Zoro. You are not the only one who is embarrassed. We are all embarrassed too. Vinsmoke Sanji, that's right. Idiot green algae head, look at the green algae head over there. One sword breaks through the sea and opens the way for Mary. How handsome. Look at you, Roronoa Zoro. Hey, thanks for the compliment. I thank you for me over there. Island of the Gods. As soon as Enel attacked, he was about to eat the fruit sent by his servant, when suddenly, he froze. What's the situation? Why hasn't a single voice disappeared? There are still so many people? Enel was dumbfounded. His divine sanction has never missed. This kind of thing is absolutely not allowed to happen. Extra large God's punishment. Suddenly, he used Thunderfruit's ability again on the steps of Angel Beach. Konis and her father, who just experienced the rest of their lives before they had time to breathe a sigh of relief, suddenly their faces froze again. It came again. Usopp shook his head in annoyance, then simply sat down on the cloud steps and looked up at the sky, as if watching fireworks. Luffy also frowned. Is there something wrong with this guy? His Nika form is still there, and the assimilation effect is still there. Raise his hand again. Luffy propped up the sky for everyone. The lightning cluster, which was nearly 10 times thicker than before, disappeared without a trace again. Luffy looked at the Konis and her father. This guy who attack us is the god in your mouth. Both father and daughter are numb at this time, nodding dully. Well, yes. Luffy shook his head speechlessly. Then you have been deceived. He is not a god, he is just a lucky guy who ate thunder fruit. Finally, he connected with what happened just now and thought about it. I almost understand. To put it bluntly, the god you are talking about is a guy who rules you by virtue of devil fruit power, and this guy is not god. Enel didn't get the effect he wanted twice in a row. The whole person was shocked. This made him lose face. Bastard. Where did these guys come from? With a bang, Enel stood up from his position. He turned into a flash of lightning and disappeared instantly. Angel Beach. Luffy and his team didn't wait for the third lightning strike, so they brought Konis and her father to Angel Beach to relax. Sanji looked like he wanted a hero to save the beauty, and said, Sister Konis, what is the situation with your island? Can you tell us about him? Don't embarrass them, they won't say anything. Luffy patted Sanji on the shoulder. How do you know? Sanji has a puzzled expression in their cognition. That guy is really like a god, holding the power of their life and death. We can ask them so easily now because we don't care about that guy, but they are different. They are afraid that even if they say something wrong, they will be punished for by that guy. Luffy explained. Listening to what Luffy said, Robin was shocked, even considering the fear of Konis and her father. Thinking of this, Robin smiled and said, yeah, Luffy is right. Let's not ask them. After we get rid of that bastard god, they will definitely explain. Actually, there is no need to look for him, the guy is already here. Luffy looked up at the sky while talking. Everyone also looked at the past. They saw a bolt of lightning flashing through the sky at a very high speed. In the blink of an eye, the thunder arrived in front of everyone. After the lightning hit the ground, it instantly condensed into a human form, Western region style clothing, with a white headscarf, a diamond rod in hand, and a drum on the back. Say, Luffy looked at the weirdly dressed guy in front of him, and asked calmly, you are the one who pretend to be God on Sky Island? Yahahaha. Ignorant idiots. Call me God, Enel. Picking out his ears, Enel laughed loudly. Idiot. Listening to Enel's speaking style, Luffy shook his head speechlessly. Then, he stretched out his arm and instantly grabbed Enel's head. Pull back hard, and Luffy's knee pops out. Armament Haki. Conqueror's Haki entanglement. There is no doubt that Luffy doesn't like the turn-based battles where they hit him since he want to make a move. Let's get it done quickly in the simplest and most effective way. Facing Luffy's attack, Enel laughed. He doesn't know Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki ability. He only knows that he will not suffer any harm. Boom. Enel's world is instantly dark. Every subscriber brings us closer to more epic novels. Join Infinite Novel today.